Hey everyone, you're listening to the official podcast of 4playernetwork.com. Check us out at that address for everything you need to know about our community, monthly giveaways, and nightly live streams. You can even support us on Patreon at patreon.com/4player. And last but not least, you can catch the live recordings of these podcasts every single Thursday night on our Twitch channel. We hope to see you there. Enjoy. Hey everyone, welcome to 4Player Podcast, episode 514. I am your host, Nick Henderson, joined this evening by Christopher Guthridge.
Hey, what's up?
Nolan Hedstrom.
How's it going, everybody?
And Christopher Davis.
Hello, hello, hello.
Welcome to the show. We have a lot to discuss tonight, but before we get to that, I do want to, there's a few things I want to say, one of which being, if you're a member of our community, you may be aware that Brad is going to be a father soon.
Brad Dad?
Brad Dad is going to be a thing.
Is it Dad Brad?
And it is probably reasonable for you to expect that Brad will probably not be on the show for a little while.
Yeah,
So I just wanted to put that out there.
He's on paternity leave from podcasting.
Yeah, Brad is going to be on paternity leave. He may be on a few times in August, but I think come September there's going to be a few months where you won't be seeing much of Brad on the podcast. So we're going to be having Chris Davis filling in. I'm trying to get Jack on the show a few times, perhaps maybe Mike. Mike just popped into chat because we record these live every Thursday night on 4pp.tv. Mike just popped into chat. Maybe we'll have him on. Who knows?
We'll fly out Joseph. We've got that Patreon money.
Fuck, oh my God, let's fly out Joseph.
I think my neighbor Brian heard of video games once.
Yeah.
Get him on here.
That could be interesting. Yeah. We have not extended an invitation to Carlos, though.
Brad tried. But Carlos is like, I'm not driving that far.
Hey, you guys all come from...
His car is a bicycle.
You guys come from South Austin.
It's rough.
Someone swing by and pick up Carlos.
Yeah, I told him I would. And he just said, bruh.
Of course he did.
That's what he does.
That's all Carlos could say. Anyways, we have a lot to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about Pyre. We're going to talk about Tacoma. We're going to talk about some Pikmin. That not to be confused with Pikmin 4? We're waiting on Pikmin 4 right now,
correct.
right? We'll talk about that. But of course, I want to get to some feedback. But before I do that, it is the first podcast of the month. It's August. What day is this? August 3rd? 3rd?
Yes.
August 3rd. So we picked a winner for our game giveaway that we do every single month for the month of July. And the winner of July is actually Burnsy79.
Damn.
Rigged.
Damn. That's what everyone says. Every month. It doesn't matter who wins. It's always rigged.
Only the winner doesn't say that.
I mean, technically it is rigged because otherwise it wouldn't happen at all.
Yeah,
you have to rig up some sort of scenario.
Yeah, I have to jump through a few hoops to pick the winner every month. So yeah, in a way, it's rigged. But yeah, congratulations, Burnsy. We're going to be in contact with you shortly. You can pick any game that
Except
you'd like.
that one. That first one you thought of?
Yeah.
Can't pick that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
We all know what you're thinking.
Don't
do that.
Bad idea.
Don't be that guy.
We'll send you your complimentary copy of Battlegrounds.
Oh no, we're gonna have to.
Nannerpuss.
First of all, thank you, Nannerpuss, for subscribing
I only
live.
said that
10 months with Twitch Prime.
We probably there we go. Need to turn the sound down, but we appreciate the subscription, Nannerpuss. But anyways, yeah, congratulations to Burnsy. If you would like to participate in the giveaway that we do every single month, all you really have to do is help us promote the show by either retweeting the podcast when the tweets go out every week when we make it live, or leaving a comment on the site at 4playernetwork.com. You can chime in on any of these conversations that we have on the podcast, and we will read your feedback at the beginning of the next episode.
We'll also consider you for the drawing if you get a 4Player Network tattoo on your body somewhere.
Particularly,
that's a
more entries based on where it is.
2 entries for the head of your penis.
Yes.
Wow.
Only you get two.
That's
the only way
3.
to get 2 entries in a month.
Actually, that's not true at all.
No, but with a single
entry.
With
a single entry.
With
1 penetration, you can get 2 entries.
Or
I'm thinking 3 for the head of your penis, and then 2 for a tramp stamp.
Oh,
a 4-player tramp stamp.
Well, what about if someone wants to get like a little 4PN logo as like a teardrop on their face? That should be worth something. They're tattooing their face.
That should be worth they're never going to get a good job.
God, oh my goodness. This is... Are these rules real? Like, are we saying these in this?
Well, let's just wait and see if pictures of 4PN tattoos show up, and then we'll decide.
How many points do you get for a tattoo on the grundle?
The taint?
Yeah.
Can you tattoo things there?
Why not?
I mean, are you going to find an artist who will do it?
I mean, dude, there's a tattoo artist out there who will tattoo your asshole. I know that. Have you seen that?
They get well paid.
Yeah.
Dude, what do they tattoo it? Like a cat's butthole?
Yeah, what? I want a picture of the Death Star with the super laser as my anus.
Does it just have the letters that says "Come on in"?
Oh no! Oh god. Okay. I'm gonna feel really bad if anyone actually gets the 4-player tattoo.
Do it. You won't. Bunch of wimps.
I feel like if anybody should have a 4-player tattoo, it should be someone in this room. But none of us have done it. So
Ratchet tattoo is
You
big.
keep changing the branding.
the branding. Actually,
That is true.
Actually, the logo hasn't changed in about 4 years.
Someone's gonna get a
5 years.
tattoo, and then the next day we're gonna announce a new logo, and they're gonna be like, "Son of a bitch! Can I get a refund?"
The irony is the fact now that we're talking about this, I feel like maybe it's prudent to actually tell people that yes, actually the logo is actually going to possibly change soon. So maybe wait if you're planning on getting a tattoo following this conversation. I'm
Because
just saying,
nobody is.
unless you're gonna get a tattoo of like one of our faces, which is also maybe 5 entries.
Could change.
Holy God, all these are really bad ideas. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there.
Dude.
A life-size
Really-
face tattoo.
We
Really-
should get 4-player network tattoos.
You know what's funny? I've kind of wanted a tattoo for a long time, but I've never done it because I've always been like, I don't know what I would get, and I don't want to
Really
get a tattoo.
difficult to ask somebody to tattoo a
And
penis
for
on
whatever
your face.
reason, it's never occurred to me to get a 4-player like logo tattoo or anything like that, which is weird. I mean, maybe I don't want a 4-player tattoo logo. I don't know, but I feel like
you
that's
don't
like that should at least have been a thought that entered my brain, right?
Dude,
But it
this is a thing that you created. Take some pride in it, for fuck's sake.
Actually, our current logo is created by my ex-girlfriend.
No,
so
if you-
maybe.
Right, there's a little bit of baggage there.
Yeah, maybe perhaps a little bit of baggage.
Every day you look at it and you die a little further inside.
The bad part.
Anyways, oh my God, we should all get tattoos of ourselves, but like I get Nolan gets crispy, Chris Davis gets crispy, Brad gets
Everyone gets me.
Brad gets crispy. Everybody gets
Just little
crispy.
like 8-bit versions of us with the 4-player logo.
Oh my God,
Let's do it.
the
I'm gonna get Jordan.
possibilities are endless.
I'm gonna get Jordan to do it.
No.
great.
Oh,
Nick-
and we know a tattoo artist.
We got an in. We got an in.
Dude, this is coming together.
Yeah, discount.
Oh my God, we should do a project. We should do a
I'm
project.
not promising that.
We should do a project M, and the loser has to get a tattoo of the game they lost at.
Damn! Damn!
is
Damn! I love it.
Branded for life.
I love it.
I'm fine with
that.
You think I'm gonna lose?
No, yeah.
Project M loser.
Oh my God. Dude, I guarantee you I'd end up getting a tattoo.
What it should be is it should be like you have to get a tattoo from the game you lost, but the specific image is up to the winner.
Oh no. The stakes keep getting higher and higher.
Damn, I love it.
Hold on, let me Google a game that has buttholes in it.
Yeah.
Anyways.
It's like if you lost at Metal Gear Solid, you might have to get like the soldier on the toilet like shitting his pants out. Like,
Johnny Sasaki.
Or no. You get the what's his name, Johnny?
Yeah,
Like
Johnny.
Yeah.
completely stripped, like when he's
With
like,
his ass up?
with the blurred
Yeah.
ass. Yeah. Just get that tattooed somewhere on you. It'd be kind of like a goatee tattoo on your back or something.
Hey Nick, do you want to reseed your mic?
Really?
Yep.
Oh.
I don't think that's him.
Yes, it is.
No,
I
it
muted
is.
that one earlier.
I swapped them.
Vamp.
All right, try again, Nick.
Testing
Hey,
1
there
2.
you go.
Okay, sorry,
Okay.
my mic cut out. Anyways, it'd be like a goatee tattoo.
So good.
That's all.
If you were ever get a tattoo, Nick, it would be like some Jason Bourne shit.
No,
Be like
because
Matt
I
Damon's
have
face on your left ass cheek or
because
something.
I have I want a tattoo, but I have the common sense to not tattoo something like that on me. Chris Davis, give me a little credit. Give me a little credit, for the love of God. If you got a tattoo, it'd be Godzilla. Fuck off.
Because Godzilla's awesome.
I'm pretty sure he would just get the Tom Clancy like night vision goggles.
Oh, the
Yeah.
outline.
The treading goggles.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. All right. Anyways, the point of this whole conversation was to let you know that you can enter in a giveaway every month.
Anyway.
But I'm going to read some feedback from our last episode, starting right now.
Uh-oh.
What?
I don't know. I'm just saying.
I'm just bracing myself.
Every week.
Just bracing myself for the worst. Mocking27 says, I have played a fair bit of the Titanfall 2 Frontier Defense DLC.
Yes.
As Chris Davis did last week. And I can tell you this. It's more than competent. If you felt the campaign was too short and you couldn't grasp the breadth, I think you meant to say breadth with a D in there, the breadth and nuances of the shooting in Titanfall 2 and using the Titan for those brief moments felt, well, brief, then this mode will satiate your appetite as it's a good balance of 70-30 Titan versus pilot gameplay. Although you can successfully play as either 100% of the time if you don't feel like it, or if you feel like it. Anyone who likes the co-op horde modes, a la Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, might even love this new mode. That would probably explain why Chris Davis loves it so much.
Probably.
It's really fucking good.
I suggest Crispy, Chris Davis, Nolan, in that order. Why not? What the fuck? Why not me? I played Titanfall 2. He omitted me.
It's okay.
Anyways, I suggest Crispy, Chris Davis, and Nolan in that order to give it a try. Oh, well, Chris Davis already did. And if everyone on the staff already owns the game, it's a good excuse to fire it up for some 4-player action.
I mean, it's free DLC.
Yeah, but do any of us actually own the game?
I don't. But it's.
Do you own the game?
Yes.
It's pretty cheap now, I think.
I mean, I redboxed it.
It was like $20 last week.
I redboxed it and played it in like 2 sittings.
Me too.
That's like 20 copies of Bad Rats. Wait, 40.
Of Bad Rats?
Yeah, that game's like 50 cents.
20 copies of Bad Rats show, 40 copies of the original Bad Rats.
There you go.
Wait, say something, Crispy?
What are we talking about?
Check 1, 2.
Okay, never mind. Okay, you're good. Sorry. I didn't mean to alarm you. Anyways, Halcyon9 says, like Chris mentioned, I was one of the people that had their Walmart SNES Classic pre-order canceled.
Oh, that sucks.
I totally understand the mistake, though I was fairly disappointed about it. I'm not confident in getting another pre-order, which just goes to show that something is wrong with how these hardware releases are handled. The usual excuse is either it's a limited release or Nintendo is always like that, which admittedly sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
fuck you last week was the Nintendo.
I don't have a lot of faith in Nintendo's ability to get hardware out the door. I've actually been fairly impressed with how they're handling the Switch, kind of. But maybe that's purely...
I think that's just because you have one.
Yeah.
Maybe.
If you don't have one and you're
but
trying to get one,
I
you
think
might not be as happy.
I think it more comes from the fact that I was working at GameStop when the Wii came out. And I was constantly having to open and close the store during that whole debacle. That was a shit show.
Well, that was just because Nintendo didn't realize how big it would be.
That was
a shit show. Like I feel like there were like moms ready to stab someone for this thing. And I feel like it hasn't been quite that serious with the Switch. Still
Is
kind
the
of a
Switch
pain.
going through scarcity issues?
Yeah.
Yeah, but not
Yes.
I mean,
There are days-long lines in Japan with lotteries for those lines.
wow.
It's not
Okay,
great.
but what about here?
I mean,
No, yeah, I mean, it's
people
still kind of
don't
hard to
line
find
up here.
I mean, like,
it's not
you're
as
saying,
bad.
You're saying I couldn't go buy a Switch tomorrow if I really wanted to?
If you wanted to go into a store, probably not.
I have listened to other podcasts though, and I've heard people say, "I just walked into a store and bought one."
They might have
it
gone
depends
in
on where they
on-
live too.
At the perfect time, maybe.
But also it explains why every
really sucks.
like at least once a week I see a thing like Switch is on Amazon right now. Get it while you can, and it's like once a week
They
at
sell out
least.
pretty quick.
Anyways, Scarecrow says, I just wanted to ask about getting an entry into the monthly giveaways. Along with retweeting the podcast and submitting feedback, is it true that if you submit...
tattoo.
That's another way. Is it true that if you submit 4-player highlight clips to the community Discord's Twitch clips channel, you get entries? Yes, that is true. And I haven't been mentioning that as much. I probably should.
You should be mentioning
In fact,
that every
we took into account all the people who, in the month of July, suggested highlights in that channel this month. So yeah, if you are in our Discord, which you can find at discord.gg/4player, if you see something funny happen on the stream or you think that would make a good highlight for our YouTube channel, you can drop into that channel in our Discord and leave a link there. And the people who have been painstakingly pulling clips and putting them on our YouTube channel might take it and do that, and we'll enter you in the drawing for that month. So yes, to confirm, that is another way of entering in the drawing. He goes on to say, I remember seeing it on Discord when the Twitch Clips text channel was created, but never heard it said on the actual podcast. That's my bad, but yes, you are right. If that's an additional way, I figured the people who mainly listen to the podcast or watch live often might want to take advantage of that and join in on Discord. It's an extra way for community members to get excited, get involved, and possibly win something, along with being pretty fun, looking for those funny or special moments. I couldn't have said it better myself, Scarecrow. Thank you for writing in. And that's all the feedback we got this week. So,
cool.
Yeah. If there's anything that you wanna say after this week's episode, you can find us at 4playernetwork.com. Just leave us a comment, and we will get to it next week. So without further ado, we spent a lot of time talking about tattoos. Admittedly, that was a fun conversation. But we have games to talk about. A lot of new games. In fact, I don't even know which game of the three big ones we're going to talk about is the newest, and I usually like to start with the newest. So I'm going to just pick one. Let's talk about Pyre, since it's...
That's not the newest.
I know. That's actually probably the oldest.
It is the oldest.
God damn it.
Jake's horrible at this.
Yeah, you really suck. Just start talking.
So I'm playing Pyre. Has anybody else tried this yet?
I've
seen
played
this?
Pyre.
Have you heard about this?
But I played it at PAX.
You played it at PAX.
A year ago.
How
is this? I really like...
Did Carlos just subscribe to our channel?
Oh,
with a free Twitch Prime subscription.
Oh, son of... Oh, yeah. Okay, good.
Oh, Carlos.
You had me for a second, Carlos. Anyways, thank you, Carlos. Appreciate it. Sorry, what were you going to say?
What's up with this game? Is it good?
So this is the next game from Supergiant.
I played the demo, and I kind of remember being positive on the demo, but...
Yeah.
Does the game... Does it have legs? Does it keep going?
Well, yes, it does. Let me tell you. So I've played about 4 hours of this so far. Moving kind of slow, been kind of jumping back and forth a lot this week. But this is the next game from Supergiant, guys who did Bastion and Transistor.
Mm-hmm.
And it very much, obviously, first thing you'll notice is very much in line with the same like artistic style and whatnot. Very colorful, very beautiful game. But the spin on this game is that it's kind of a sports game. It's weird. It's like an RPG blended with a point-and-click adventure blended with a sports game.
Right.
Meets Sex in the City.
I've
or
heard that
Sesame
sports
Street
game
and Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
And
Sports game
Sorry.
aspect isn't like...
So here's the
like
thing.
a third of the game or
Here's
something,
the
right?
thing. I've been playing this for 4 hours, and it's very obvious that the crux of this game is the sport. Which so essentially, you play this character who wakes up in this vast wasteland that people get banished to in this world.
Yeah.
When they get outcast, when they commit crimes or whatever, and you don't really know what they've done. That's kind of part of the story. You meet up with this band of misfits who are trying to find their way out of this wasteland, and one of the ways out of this wasteland is to compete in these rights. That's what they call them, and so that's where you play the sports game.
Yeah.
So you have to compete in these rights. If you win,
sports game have a name?
It's called they just
call them the rights. Unless I'm completely blanking here, I don't think it actually has a name.
It sounds like it's called the rights.
It might be called Pyre. I don't know. If I'm totally wrong, someone in chat can point it out to me. If it has a name, it's not particularly memorable.
Blitzball, Nick.
Yeah, see, it's just called Rights, according to Prince of the Universe. Thank you.
You know what? I think that's rights.
Yeah. So this band of misfits, right? Mm-hmm. They find you in the middle of this wasteland, and what's special about you is you can read. I think this is a kind of a world where only certain people are
literature isn't a thing anymore.
So you can read the ancient text or whatever, and it's just English.
They're amazed to find that there's a person who can look at squiggles and derive information from it.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like power.
So
it's an advertisement for a sex line.
In order, you actually dictate. So when you're playing the sports game, you as the reader are dictating. Sorry, yeah. When you play the rights, you are as the reader are dictating what happens in the sports game. So I think every team has what they call a reader, I guess, that dictates what people do and where they move and stuff.
So they're playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah, you're like the dungeon master. And so the crux of this game is the rights.
Right.
But I've played it for about 4 hours, and I've played 4 matches, and they're over, especially the early ones, which are, not particularly challenging, are they're over in 5-10 minutes. So you spend a vast majority of this game, I think, talking to characters, reading dialogue, traveling. Like you are in this like wagon, and the wagon is traveling all over these lands trying to find these rights. You're actually following the stars in the sky, and it's leading you to the areas where they're going to hold these rights. And obviously the goal is to win all the rights so you can win your freedom. But yeah, so I've played like 4 hours of this game, and I've only played like the good thing about this footage. I was like, I wonder if like last night when I was recording this footage, I was like, am I even gonna find a right to play while I'm recording this footage? Because I obviously want that to be part of the footage when I'm talking about it. But like luckily, right as I started, I ran across a new character that allows you to like practice. So you can literally go into your wagon and like trigger a practice round whenever you want, they seem really easy. They're not exactly the best representation because early on, like the first right I beat in like 5 minutes and I never got touched. So the way the rights actually work, who here actually played it before? I know Crispy did. Did you ever touch it? You didn't either, Chris? Okay. So the game is called Pyre because it's essentially like soccer in it, but instead of a goal on either end of the arena, you have these pyres, like fire. So those fire pyres. Pyre, yeah. You know what I mean.
You don't have to say fire pyre. Pyre is kind
of... Pyre with
redundant.
a P. Pyre.
It's like ATM machine.
A pillar of fire, a pyre.
A pillar of fire, yes, thank you.
It's pyre.
It's a pyre. So there's a pyre at either ends, and the goal is to each team has 3 players that you can choose.
The Beyonder.
Yeah, so this is the Beyonder she's like a wraith, and she can actually like let you practice, and so in a second you'll see me actually trigger a practice round, so you can kind of see what I'm talking about.
Like a Marvel or something.
But the goal, yeah, they all wear these weird like ceremonial masks. Like I'm not even sure what the ceremonial masks are for, but like everybody wears them.
They're for the rights.
They are for the rights, yes.
For the rights to get out of the wasteland.
But anyways, the goal of the actual right itself is to take three players. Each team starts with a number. Like my team currently starts with. I think both teams by default start with 100. I don't know score of 100, right? And the goal is to get a player to get the ball, or the orb in this case, and take it to the opposite end. To the opposing team's pyre, and throw it into the pyre, which usually also involves your character himself jumping into the fire, which eliminates them from the map for a certain amount of time. So then you have 2 characters, and they all have cooldowns. All the players in the map have an aura, and so if they're not carrying the orb, their aura will like eviscerate anybody that steps into your aura. So if you see like someone running through the arena to get to your pyre, you can just take a character and charge at them with their aura, and if you come within a certain range of them and they walk into your aura, boom, poof, they're gone. They drop the orb, you can pick it up, and then you can take it back to the end. And every time you eliminate someone, each character has their own specific cooldown, and as you're leveling up your characters, you're changing, you're leveling them up, and you're enhancing things like the width of their aura, the speed at which they move, the amount of damage they do to the opposing pyre if you take that character into the fire. So like some characters by default will knock like 15 points off. You can bump it up and it will knock 20, that kind of thing. So like you're leveling up the characters, and as they level up, you're increasing their performance on the field.
So the game, like the rights.
Yeah.
What am I trying to say? The depth of gameplay, like the depth of how the game functions, is based more in statistics and like under the hood numbers than it is in like actual like technique of playing it.
Well, see, that's
because the game's kind of simplistic, right? It's just about like running around and getting to their goal.
Yes, it is simplistic, and the thing is,
there's not a lot of like rules judging.
I was worried about depth, so this is actually you can see the map. So as the game starts, you can see the score on either end.
100.
You can also even equip items that will like if you pick this character with this talisman equipped, it'll add like plus 10 to your score. So to your starting score by default. So and there's a bunch of different talismans and stuff like that you can equip. But yeah, starting out, I was pretty worried about the depth and how far they could take it, because like I said, I beat that first one, didn't even get touched, like didn't even lose any points at all, just destroyed the opposing team. But then like the next one I played, it was fucking close, and like the matches don't take a long time, like they move at a fairly quick pace because the field is fairly small, you're running around, a lot of times there'll be obstacles kind of thrown around throughout the field that you have to like run around, which kind of makes it challenging. I played one last night which is actually at the very end of the foot. I don't think we're going to get to it, but the opposing team, like when their score got low enough, they threw these like potholes into the arena that were filled with like this acid. So if you stepped in the acid, you would obviously explode and lose the orb, and it made it much harder to like navigate, and you had a lot fewer options to get to the opposing Pyre.
So you had to make sure you choose the right.
So it seems like as I'm playing, it's getting more and more complicated, and I'm getting more and more characters. Like this little character I have here, I forgot his name. It's this weird like little flying bat thing. He can actually like.
I think his name
most
is
characters
Flights.
can jump when you press square. When you press square in this game, he actually like hovers above the field and like flies.
Oh, cool.
So you can actually, when you're not carrying the orb too, you can actually shoot your aura. So you can like hone your aura and then shoot it like a beam, like that guy just did. And if it hits someone, it blows them away. So if someone shoots the beam at you and you're playing as that bat character, you can press square and jump and just float right over it.
Yeah.
And it's kind of
I just forgotten completely like how
it's like honestly I think it's a really really well thought out game, and it's a lot of fun, and I don't find it particularly frustrating. I find it like it's just a fun. I don't think it's very challenging. I don't think it's very hard. I don't think it's going to frustrate anybody. What again?
Yep. In terms of like frustration, I mean, you said you've only played a few matches. Do you think it's going to get like more complex as time goes on? Or?
Probably. So the thing is, I don't know.
Did you just throw the orb and then
that's
run
another
in
thing.
and catch it while you're in the pyre or right before?
You can. I think you have to be pretty quick to do that, but you can actually throw.
You can just throw
You can throw it and hope to get
okay.
it, but sometimes they're not strong enough to throw very far.
I see.
And a lot of times characters will like hover and hang back in front of the pyre to like try and guard it. So.
Yeah.
dude, that one character seems OP as fuck. He just flies over everything.
Yeah, see, like I think the balancing seems like it might be a little off.
Your team name is the Nightwings?
Yeah.
Did you make that
No,
up? Or is
that is
that's
the
part of
name.
it?
No, no, I know where
The
you're
Coal
going.
Blacks.
Yeah. Definitely didn't make that up. That's canon.
Yes.
That's canon.
Part of the world.
Yeah. So I think the game itself is a lot of fun, and it's not. I don't think it's a game that's going to frustrate people. I think it's just a fun game to
Pyre
play.
or rights?
Rights.
Okay.
No, sorry. Yeah, that can get confusing. Sorry. The game within the game, I think, is a really cool, well thought out thing. It's It's definitely new, especially for Supergiant. But it only
or
rights.
triple triad?
Rights. God damn it.
That was a question, Nick.
Oh, you
always
saying
choose
rights
triple
or triple triad?
Yeah.
I haven't played enough rights. See, that's the problem. Like, I've played this game for 4 or 5 hours, and I've spent maybe collectively like 45 minutes actually playing the rights. The rest of the time, it's like a point-and-click adventure. You're a lot of times you'll come to a fork in the road, and you have to tell your team which way to go. Like, they'll give you like, I think we should go this way, and one character's like, well, maybe we should go this way, and you have to make a choice. And depending on which one you choose, maybe the other character will not like you as much, or like think less of you, or whatever. So you can kind of improve.
Cole will remember that.
You can, it's kind of like Telltale at that point. You're kind of like,
actions will have consequences.
it doesn't tell you things straight up like that, but you can kind of get the sense that, okay, this character is looking at me like, why did you choose that
Don't
way?
start with me right now, Christine. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Is there? Am I wrong in thinking that there's actually competitive multiplayer in this?
Yes.
There is. Isn't
Okay.
there? But only the rights.
I don't think there's competitive Oh, wait, no, you're right. Sorry, there is. There's a versus. I forgot. Yeah, on
Because
the
I could have
menu,
sworn when they were
there is a
demoing
versus
this at
mode.
other earlier shows, they were demoing the multiplayer.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's exciting. Like, I haven't touched the multiplayer.
It's a local.
Oh, it's local.
Yeah.
Actually, that might be something cool for us to do in the feed, maybe. Maybe next week or something before the podcast. I don't know. Point is, I think it's a really creative game, and it's kind of laid back. I find it a little bit less stressful than maybe something like Bastion.
Mm-hmm.
Just because
Bastion was pretty intense.
yeah, like the RPG mechanics here are kind of light, and the rights are kind of low on stress, but it's kind of just leaning really heavily on the story it's telling, which so far I find pretty interesting. But I'm hoping it kind of throws some twists and turns in there. Like a lot of the excitement, the story so far has just come from like meeting new characters and trying to figure out why they're all in this wasteland together. Like, they all did something to end up here, and it's kind of like, what did they do?
So is the story aspect of this leaning more on like kind of the high adventure quest of these guys participating in the rights, or is it more based around like character drama, like the actual characters themselves.
Well, right now it seems like it's more heavily based on character drama than the rights, which is weird because the most unique thing about this game is definitely the rights, and I'm hoping that starts to pick up and become more frequent. And I think they even throw in some scenarios where you take what you learn in the rights and you use them in different ways. Like there was one night where we were like at a campsite, and then like the campsite got swarmed by these creatures, and then the camera like pulled back and it was like an isometric map, and you were the animal, like the creatures were like closing in on the camp, and you had to like run around and use your aura to like shoot them. So it's like using a little bit of what you learn in the rights, but in a kind of a different way. And I'm thinking they're gonna be doing stuff more like that more frequently.
Actually, like gameplay maps outside of
outside of an actual right. And people in chat, I saw Bear and Prince of the Universe are both saying that it's going to get more difficult, which is great. I kind of welcome that. Like the two matches that I've played that were most memorable were the ones where I was like, it's really getting close, because some of the teams are actually really aggressive and they're moving around really fast, and there are a lot of times where you'll like make split-second decisions and you'll end up with like all three of your team members like eliminated, and like they had this really cool announcer that'll like talk over that'll narrate. He sounds like the narrator sounds like the narrator from the Michael Jackson music video for Thriller.
Vincent Price.
Is that Vincent Price?
Well, yeah.
That's Vincent Price.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it sounds like
Thriller?
Vincent
Yeah.
Price, in my opinion.
Awesome.
Which is kind of cool, and his banter is really interesting. But like you'll end up with your entire team wiped out, and then he'll say stuff like, "Oh, what happened to the Nightwings?" And just more clever than that, obviously, but
Better than you did.
yes, better than I did. But like at the bottom left, you'll see like the cooldowns, and it's counting down, and you'll see people like the other team like running towards your pyre with the orb, and you're like, come on, and like there's been several times where like right as he's about to like jump into my pyre, like my character spawns back in, and his aura's right there, and he like basically jumps right into a character's aura and gets blown away, which is pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, it's fun. I'm definitely gonna keep playing. I'm not sure how long the game actually is because, like I said, it's the rights themselves don't take a lot of time, and I've already done. I think they said there's like 7 rights, and I think I've done like 4 of them so far.
There's 7.
I could be wrong. I could be
Hold
wrong.
on. I will say that one of my coworkers was saying how she really liked this game and she beat it in like one sitting or something like that.
It wouldn't surprise me. Like I don't. I mean,
You said you played like 4 hours?
like 4 hours,
Maybe she didn't say
maybe
one
even
sitting,
less.
but she said she beat it quickly.
Yeah,
She's already beaten it.
which is fine by me. Okay, there's more than that. So people in chat are saying there's more rights than that. I just remember them saying at the beginning of the game something about following the stars, and there's like, if you look up in the sky, like every time you go to a new right, it shows like this constellation, and there's like 7 stars on the constellation.
Well, maybe there's another constellation.
Maybe there's not. Maybe I hope so.
Maybe you should just let the story develop, Nick.
I will.
Yeah.
By this time next week, I will probably have finished this game, so I will let you guys know next week.
You know
It's
what,
cool
Nick?
though. It's definitely cool.
You might be right.
God damn it! You're gonna be doing that all show, aren't you?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know, I never finished Transistor. Did anyone here finish Transistor?
Nope.
That game was really cool as well.
I didn't
but-
play it. Nor did
I really like
play
Supergiant's
Bastion.
style.
Yeah, their style's really
Their
good.
style's ridiculously cool and beautiful. I don't know if this format of storytelling is going to like have legs for me. Like it does feel like when you're not doing a right, it feels very point and click. Like you actually interact with everything on the map, on the screen by moving a cursor and like clicking on things, and it tells you. One of the things I really like about it is like when you're reading dialogue and they reference something or someone that's part of the mythos or whatever. It's like highlighted,
yeah.
and you hover over it, and it'll like a tooltip will pop up and explain who that is.
I like when
And it's
games
like
do that.
every single time that someone's name comes up in conversation, you can hover over it and remind yourself of who that person is, which is good because a lot of their names are kind of hard to remember, and their role they play is kind of hard to remember. So
Yeah.
pretty cool. I'm enjoying it so far. I kind of wish there was more rights, or I wish the ratio from rights to storytelling was a little bit more even, but we'll see. Nolan,
What up?
I'm really curious about Hey Pikmin.
Oh yeah,
I love Pikmin.
I've definitely been playing some Hey Pikmin. I casted it last night on my stream. Chris Davis, you're the worst at this.
Oh, sorry, I'm trying to read it
It's
outside.
by the way, it's Hey Pikmin.
Hey.
Yep.
Exclamation point comes after the hey before the Pikmin.
It's most people get it confused with "Hey, listen,"
Yeah.
but it's Pikmin.
I mean, when I read it, I hear it in Navi's voice.
Yeah. But anyway,
Well, now I do.
So, hey, Pikmin, it's a story about this little guy named Olimar.
Oh.
And
You don't say.
He's flying a spaceship in space, and he goes warp speed, and then hits some rocks and crashes on a planet. But hey, there's Pikmin on this planet.
How do they explain the fact that he's crash landed on the Pikmin planet like 4 times now?
He was from the last planet. He was flying home.
And he found another planet. So are
Another
Pikmin,
planet with Pikmin.
Are Pikmin the most
They're the scourge of the universe.
numerous form of life in the galaxy?
Yes.
Is all of evolution just driving towards the Pikmin?
Dude, I have a feeling
They're essentially like locusts.
Dude, I think he's just crash landing over and over on the same planet. Like he's never actually.
probably.
He just keeps getting stuck in its gravity
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
landing on the other side of the planet.
It's
God
always
damn
a
it.
planet with like humans that populate it, so there's just a bunch of trash and shit around that you
Yeah,
can destroy.
This is art.
I don't-
Right? It's it.
You know what?
I don't know, man. These Pikmin. There's got to be something going on. If there's like 4 different planets with them.
Well, anyway, so Hey Pikmin is a side-scrolling game.
Not traditional Pikmin.
No, correct. So this is very different from the normal Pikmin games we played in the past. You are no longer using your Pikmin to gather resources to fuel your ship or to create more Pikmin, which is honestly one of my favorite things about previous Pikmin games is when they would go and they would suck up the thing into the ship and they would just start popping out little Pikmin
Yeah.
everywhere. Pop, 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 pop,
It's
pop,
super-
pop.
Wouldn't it be easy
Like,
if
that's
he
just-
just made his ship run on Pikmin? You just have to collect Pikmin and put them in his ship.
You know, if he didn't
just burn up the Pikmin.
Oh god.
just sacrifice them all to
Yeah.
the gods.
I mean, they are essentially plant life, so I mean,
Right?
yeah,
But like his ship runs on fruits, but not Pikmin.
yeah.
What's up with that?
So anyway, just in regards to this footage, the problem with this game is that unlike most other 3DS games, most of the actions are going on the bottom of the screen.
yeah, 'Cause that's the touchscreen. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
because in this game you literally only use one button on the 3DS, and that's the analog stick, and then you use the stylus to fling your Pikmin wherever you touch. Now, granted, you use the L and R. Eventually, you unlock an ability that will bring up the map, but I think I've brought that up all of like twice. But anyway, so yeah, every level's kind of the same. You land on it with no Pikmin, and then you find some Pikmin, and then you use them to solve some simple puzzles, navigate some obstacles, and
Is this
find more
basically a
Pikmin.
platformer, but you have to use Pikmin to get through the challenges?
Yes.
It's a Metroidvania
Oh.
with Pikmin.
It's
a Pikmoidvania.
It's a light. I don't know. I don't know the best way to describe it. It's definitely. I would not describe it as Metroidvania. It's very simple. The levels, while not extremely challenging, will often have some sort of puzzle to them. That kind of makes it a little more complicated, but pretty simple. They do have, old school Mario-esque paths. So if you finish a level a certain way, you will unlock a different path. So some levels have multiple exits to the level. And
Yeah.
depending on which one you get, you can unlock like hidden levels or stuff like that.
Playing this game, have you ever felt the urge to replay a level?
Yes and no. So here's the thing. There's like a completionist element to it. So when you finish a level, if you look on the top right of the top screen, the top
Yeah.
right of it, you see those 3 bubbles?
Yeah.
There are 3 items in each world. So, think of old
like
Pikmin
that
games.
item?
Like that
Battery?
one I just found, yeah. Wait, not that. Yeah, the one I'm about
There's
to
a
find, I
battery,
think.
yeah.
That battery, yeah.
Oh, you can use that battery in your ship.
Or whatever it is. But anyway, so when you find them, they get the whole point of this game is Olimar is trying to find sparklium. Is the material that will fuel his ship.
Yeah.
You need 30,000 sparklium. At the end of each level, I have maybe somewhere between 500 and 700 at the end of each level.
Yeah.
This might be a long game.
It's definitely not short. I've beaten 2 worlds. I'm on the 3rd world right now. But anyway, so at the end of each level, there's like kind of like a rating. Did you find all 3 like items? Okay, check that mark off. Did you finish the level with all 20 Pikmin? Because you can find at least so far a max
They're
20
just goating
Pikmin.
people who just can't stand
The problem
can't
is
stand saying no to those
multiple
questions.
times now. At the very end of the level, I've lost 1 Pikmin, and it's like son of a bitch, and I lose them in like the dumbest ways too.
Fuck
Don't
you.
let them get you.
Yeah, and so Yeah, those are like the three things or the two things you can do to complete a level besides just finishing it.
Yeah.
Granted, I've never played a Pikmin game.
This is not a Pikmin game in the sense that like this is very different.
Well, one of the things I've noticed about Pikmin is that there's usually some kind of strict time limit.
Okay, so yeah, so
there doesn't seem to be one.
So yeah, previous Pikmin. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's a completely different style game. Previous Pikmin games, yes. The reason there was a time limit was because you had to only be out during the daytime, and if you go out at nighttime, the monsters would come out and eat all your Pikmin. So you had to stay. Only go out during night, and any Pikmin that you left just die. So that's not in this because each level is just literally just there's no time or anything like that. And this was
underground.
Huh?
And you're underground.
Well, in this part, you're underground, not always. But as you can see here, there was actually a puzzle I didn't solve correctly, and that I needed to leave some of those blocks
To make like stairs?
to make stairs so I could get up to that Link to the Past.
On Game Boy?
Sorry, Link's Awakening. Yeah, that's Link's Awakening
the
Game Boy. Yeah, I previously found the original the original Mario game.
Wait, that's one of the items you find in the in the game?
Yeah. And so
look at
Alamar, you
that.
see, he has a little jetpack which you can use to kind of slightly hover, but I fucked myself and I'm like, well, not getting that item. Guess I got to replay the level.
I like that. I feel like if they were to mix it up with a Pikmin game and make a different genre of game, this feels like an appropriate choice.
So far it's not bad. It's not like I've been having like a bad time with it or anything. I've been enjoying it. Each world has maybe A, B, C, D, like 5 main levels. And then a couple of like side hidden ones. Like some of them are like mini games. Like there are these little like fruit things falling through the air that you have to catch. And there are some that are like kind of just like, oh, like solve this kind of slight simple puzzle, and then you'll get one of the pellets that have been in previous Pikmin games that will literally just increase your Pikmin count. Because outside of the levels, there is the Pikmin Park, which is an area where there's just like a bunch of shit. And you have to tell your Pikmin, oh, go mine that shit, or go pick those plants, or go do this. And the more they do it, you'll get more Sparklium to power your ship. But it's like there are like, oh, there's fire, so you can only send the red Pikmin to do that. And there's electricity, so you can only send the yellow. And similar to the other Pikmin games, they retain all those abilities, like, fire. The yellow ones also are lighter, so you can throw them farther. Yeah. So you can throw them almost to the top of the top screen. And that's kind of one of the things I was talking about earlier, was it kind of sucks that like 90% of the game takes place on the bottom screen. Yeah. But like I can't not show the top screen because stuff still goes on there. Yeah. And I can't have them one on top of the other because then that would only take up like half the screen. I could, I guess, turn the screen sideways, and I could ask everyone at home watching to rotate their monitors 90 degrees, and then that would work.
It's too much trouble.
Not quite.
But anyway, so yeah, at the end of each world is a boss fight. Ooh. Similar to the Pikmin games, where you'd have boss battles and stuff. I've only fought 2 so far. The first one was I forget what they're called now, like the bulblum, like just like the big fucking the classic Pikmin enemy you think of, with like the 2 feet and the giant mouth.
Looks like a big strawberry.
Yeah, kind of. That was the first enemy, like first boss I fought. The second one was in the second world was actually a water area. So most of it took place underwater. Oh. Like Olimar swimming around the levels, and you have the blue Pikmin, and you're like swimming around.
That's cool.
And that boss fight was like an underwater eel fight. Like I was fighting an eel underwater.
Was it fun?
It was actually pretty cool.
This game looks like it has a lot of the charm that I love about Pikmin.
It totally has a lot of the charm. And like there's like puzzles involving. You see this little guy right here, this little electric ladybug.
Oh yes.
Those guys were in the little area that focused on the yellow Pikmin, and you often had to use them to solve puzzles. Like there would be like a flower that blooms when it has electricity on it. Yeah. And since these electric bugs put off electricity, when they walk next to it, it will like bloom out, which you have to use as a platform. Yeah. So sometimes you have to get timing right, where you have to stuff like that. It's pretty. Nothing's been extremely difficult. So far, it's all been. I don't
know if I necessarily want it to be. I think Pikmin for me has always been one of those games I just feel like it. Well, there were times where Pikmin 3 got pretty stressful, usually towards the end of the day.
Oh no, totally, yeah. Those time limits were hard, yeah. And this doesn't have them. But yeah, so like I said, I'm on the 3rd world. That's what this is from.
I kind of want to play this.
Do you know how many worlds there are?
I do not.
I kind of want to play this.
So a complaint, I will say, and this is something we've talked about a while back, and this was a fear from Brad. It doesn't run great on my 3DS.
I was gonna say
On your non,
it
on
looks
your
like
non
it's
new
going
3DS.
Some of the parts right here where it's chugging, that's not the footage, that's the game. Go watch my stream from yesterday. There was this one area I entered where frame rates dropped into the single digits.
Oh shit!
I mean-
I would be really curious if I wonder if anyone can confirm whether or not it runs better on a new 3DS versus the. Old.
I'm 90% confident it probably does.
Yeah.
Oh, you're playing the old 3DS?
Yeah, no, that's all I have.
Okay.
I have the original one, which also means that I don't have the amiibo features that the game has. It has them, and it's told me about them. I don't really know what they do though, because I don't have like an amiibo
pop
reader.
them
Yeah. So I'm not even sure.
So do you think the slowdown is based on how many Pikmin you have on screen?
I don't think so, because there was definitely times where I entered an area with like no Pikmin.
It probably
and
is just
still chugged
optimized for a
around.
new 3DS.
Yeah. I
is that a
mean, so
watch?
far none of it's it's a watch. So far none of it's not been like game breaking in my opinion. Like I'm like,
How's the
oh,
music?
this is horrible, huh?
How's the music?
Oh, the music's delightful. Yeah. It's still charming.
play
I've
this.
actually been kind of jamming to some of the music.
Is this a physical release or is it download only? Or?
I mean, mine's physical. Yeah, no, yeah. Sorry, yes, this is a physical release. They do have digital versions too, but this one's I have the physical one. So yes, you can borrow it when I'm done.
Pikmin 3 had like 4 alternate characters that you played as in it.
So far,
are they in here?
Louis, right, was one of them.
I don't remember their names.
I can't remember.
the only one I've ever remembered is Olimar.
It's Olimar, yeah. So this is actually the level where I first find the rock Pikmin, which are the ones that can break like crystal and stuff. I've seen in promotional material the flying ones too. So I mean, I don't know how many different types. I mean, there's been like the white ones. I don't remember what those ones did. The purple ones. A lot of different Pikmin. So
Yeah.
far I found the base red, yellow, and blue, and I just found the rock Pikmin.
Cool.
I'm definitely enjoying it so far. It gave me a good excuse to bust out my 3DS, which
Yeah.
hasn't been used in a long time. So I'll keep playing it, and I don't think I'm going to complete it the way they probably want you to, like 100%ing the levels. But I'm going to keep playing it though. I'm enjoying
Looks dope.
it. Yep.
I have a game. Crispy, did you have a game? So I know you said you don't want to talk about this game. Can I ask you?
The only things that I've played in the last week, I played a little bit of Get Even, which anyone who watched my stream on Tuesday saw how much trouble I had getting that whole show running. That had nothing to do with the game itself. That was just like I had to download it and it took forever, and then I didn't have room on my hard drive because it turns out my storage drive on my computer's full. Oh my god, I'm gonna die.
Have you tried
Well,
eliminating
have I
some
got a
of the
deal for you,
pornography?
Actually, that might. I'm interested. I did play a little bit of Get Even though, and I also participated in the Lawbreakers beta that was open over the weekend. I don't have footage of either. I haven't played enough of Get Even to really make a final judgment on it. But if you want me to talk about it,
It's more just general. I'd like to hear you talk about it once you've played more of it. But do you have like a general
First impression.
first impression you can deliver? Just how would you describe the game?
I only watched some of your casts.
I guess I just want to hear you describe the game. Like how would you describe it? Because we're all, waiting with bated breath following Chris Davis's famous description of it.
I honestly don't have any real thoughts about the game yet, except that
Coal Black is still a terrible name.
There are some things about it that. Is this game developed by a European studio?
Polish.
Called it.
Okay. Yeah, there are some things about it that are
It's the
just
Farm
like
51.
like. There's some things about it that are just like I feel like that's really cheesy, but I don't think you meant to be cheesy about it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this is a tongue-in-cheek decision that you've made. Like the character's name is a perfect example.
Yeah.
I don't think that was a tongue-in-cheek decision. I don't think it was a tongue-in-cheek decision for him to be, like, this ridiculously gruff, grizzled British mercenary searching for someone's daughter. Like, it's so much of it is just like, man, if you guys had just a little bit more humor about this would be incredible. But it's really interesting so far. The narrative direction of the game, in what little I've played, has been real tense and real kind of what the fuck and real like what's going on.
It's a perfect description of the game, Crispy.
Yeah, I don't. That's. It's tense, but you know what? It's not tense because of any real like gameplay decision that they've made. It's not tense because of like level design or anything mechanical about the game. It's tense because of the game's soundtrack, which I mean is a really blatant trick. I mean, it's really like I can see the strings on what you're doing. It's kind of working, but like I like you're not subtle about it. You know what I'm saying?
No, it's not.
Like the first level starts every like 5 or 6 minutes or something. You'll hear this weird like kind of like locking noise, and you're just like, what the fuck is that? And you keep going, and it keeps getting more frequent, and it keeps getting louder. And by the end of the level, you're like walking down a hallway, and it's just like it's making you real like. What is about to happen? You can feel the crescendo. And you know it's building to something. And it kind of like it's cool. Like I was fucking legit kind of just like on the edge of my seat. What the fuck is going on? But it wasn't really like
Christian.
clever about it. I don't know.
I think
and then it goes from that into a forced stealth sequence, which
The game is very unforgiving when it comes to stealth.
the stealth is so rough.
I think
it
Nolan
is
just
quite
needs
It's like don't kill anybody, but it's telling me to put my gun away. I can't even figure out how to do that. Like I can't even figure out how to put my gun away. I can't figure out how to use my phone because it's attached to my fucking gun, and it seems like I really need to be using my phone instead of my gun.
Well, I mean, you don't
It's
necessarily need to put your gun away. It's just don't fire your
They
gun.
tell you. They specifically say, put your gun away.
But you need.
Guys,
I mean,
I know.
Hey guys,
Nolan doesn't even know what this game
what
is.
the fuck are y'all talking about?
I
have
don't
no
know.
idea
You
what the
gotta-
fuck this game is. Is this first person?
you
Is this
need to
third
watch-
person? Is this
you need to watch the
isometric? I don't know what the
fucking
fuck this
podcast.
game is.
Chris
so
Davis.
good even is.
Let Chris Davis do his
No,
pitch.
no, don't let Chris Davis do his pitch.
No.
It's
I
a
can't-
first-person action shooter.
No, it's
Stealth.
not an action game. It is a first person.
I swear to God, if you say Assassin's Creed or Matrix, I'm going to kill you.
No, it's
It's
a
a-
first person semi horror thriller walking simulator game.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a walking simulator that doesn't want to admit that it's a walking simulator.
Exactly.
So
That's
it
it.
puts these shooter segments in
Is it on
that-
rails?
No.
Okay.
No, but it is
It's
very
very
linear.
linear.
As far as the level
It's like
design
the
goes.
vanishing of
And
Ethan
it's-
Carter, but they put a gun in your hand
Yeah,
for
and
some
it's
reason.
set up
Okay.
with like levels. There
Thank
are
you.
levels to the
With like
game.
one cool shooter gimmick to
Yeah,
it.
the shooter gimmick is that you have a gun that's a corner gun, so you can sneak out and you can pop it around a corner to see if there's anybody there and shoot them. You know,
Yeah.
which is kind of cool. But
Thank
like,
you, I know
it's-
what this game is
it's
now.
so like it's so Call of Duty when this game doesn't really need that.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I don't. I can't comment on the story yet because it's so fucking.
We'll check back in with you
I don't know.
next week or the
You,
week
you
after.
got to
whatever.
get through at least the first half before you can really start commenting on the story. I know that's
I
kind of like
did
a
one
near
thing.
bullshit excuse.
I did one thing that the game like tells you to do. Like you have to do this thing. Like you have to reset a fucking breaker box or something, and then the game's like your actions will have consequences. And the first moment that I feel like was supposed to be this real like dilemma moment was you do the first level and then I don't really want to tell you what happens, but you wake up in a situation where you're like, I don't know if this is real, I don't know if I'm dreaming, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but they put you in this like abandoned building that's been retrofitted into this weird like murder hospital for
It's
a
Saw. like
weird
Saw.
sci-fi murder hospital. Yeah. And everyone's wearing these like virtual reality goggles on their head, and then they put you in a room where like there's a door to a cell and there's a guy in there and he's like, "Hey, get me out of here. They're going to kill me. Help me." And you have to like use your phone's scanner to like find a circuit box or something to open it to get him out, but like I couldn't really tell what was going on, so I just kept walking. And then the door closed behind me and they're like, "Okay, you let that guy die." And I was like, "Oh, well, cool. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that guy. Who cares?" Like, I don't know. It's
All right.
I think the game. I think the game's got a lot of really clever ideas. I just don't. They're not lining up yet for me.
We'll check back in with you in a few
Yeah,
weeks.
there were a couple things I tried to help you out on, especially your stealth segment inside the
It's
company.
so, like,
I like
I
DTH.
don't know.
DTH says it's a first-person sci-fi stealth thriller shooter violin simulator.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
All right.
the way they build the soundtrack and build tension using it, I like it, but yeah, it's very, very blatant what they're trying to do.
Cool. God damn it, Nolan.
Jinx.
I gotta
Don't steal
play
my
it.
thunder. I have another game.
Okay.
Another new game. I played this last night, one sitting. Tacoma. That game that we've been hearing about for years. That's finally,
Fullbright?
yeah. Next game from Fullbright. This is from the guys who made Gone Home, which left a lot of people feeling very, what's the word? Emotional upon completion of that game, which is great. I think Gone Home was an incredible.
I hated Gone Home because I always thought something was gonna fucking spook me.
Yeah.
And it never
They
happened.
do a pretty good job of leading
Yeah.
you along.
But like
with that.
every time
But
you'd hear
without
like the
being dicks
thunder,
about it.
yeah. I mean, I was just waiting for it the whole fucking.
You don't really
game.
know what kind of story you're
Yeah.
seeing unfold
but
until
as
the
the story
very
You're
end.
progresses-
sitting there going like, "Oh, it's a haunted house story. I can't wait for the
You
drop."
expect there to be like a murderer
Then
in
it
the house.
doesn't.
Yeah.
No,
It's
they
something
set that
completely
atmosphere
different.
perfectly. And then for like the second half of Gone Home, you're like, I don't want to go to the attic. I'm terrified of what I'm going to actually find there.
And it really ain't scary.
Nope.
But
No, it's not, but you're worried for your characters.
but it's great. That game culminates in a really touching, rewarding way, in my opinion.
I imagine that it's a lot harder to do some kind of like ambiguous setting sort of thing with this game though, because it takes place like on a fucking space station.
Yeah. Okay. So Tacoma, like Gone Home, doesn't give you a lot of context going into it. What?
We disappeared.
we just.
Oh, that was weird.
I don't know why.
So the game opens with it's first person like Gone Home. You are on this ship. You're docking with the space station. You're by yourself, so you're in some kind of lone spaceship, single seater, whatever. What?
I don't want to watch this actually.
I mean, okay.
I'm turned away.
Sorry.
I'm participating. I'm just not looking.
Okay. You dock with the space station, and you board, and they essentially, it seems like
Okay, stop talking.
How abstract can you possibly be?
the
with this game?
okay. The setup
Because you
is
need to go there.
you are sent to this space station, which has been
To find out
evacuated,
what
to
happened.
collect data from this AI that runs the ship. It's been evacuated, and you are sent to collect data.
Did you have to find the key under a pillow on the porch of the space station?
No, it's not like that.
Was there a Christmas duck?
Oh God, this is not okay. So this is everyone loves to say, "Oh, it's Gone Home in space," and that's not entirely untrue. But the way you interact with the world is dramatically different. You're not necessarily piecing together a story entirely from reading.
Oh
No, what?
no, I just like that kind of I don't want to say detective style, but
So
I don't
you
know. The puzzle piece kind of storytelling of Gone Home was what was really cool
no.
about that.
Sorry, you are still unfolding a story in a similar way to Gone Home, in that you are reading interactions between other characters kind of out of context or out of order, and you're piecing together what happened on this space station, right?
Yeah.
You're just in Gone Home. You do that predominantly through roaming around, finding and reading notes, maybe listening to a couple audio clips, right? Finding some items about the environment, whatever. So, Crispy, you've played Batman: Arkham Origins, right?
Yeah.
Remember the detective thing they added in that game where you could like see the entire sequence play
Yeah,
out, and
you,
you
like,
rewind,
scrub through.
scrub through. That is, and so instead of finding notes, which you still find notes, there's actually a lot of stuff to read in this game, but the main mechanic in this game is you go into these rooms, and everything on the ship is recorded from this AI. So you can scrub through recorded interactions between characters. You can go back and forth, and you're purely watching these characters interact, and that is how I would say 70 to 80% of the story is presented to you.
That's interesting. I mean, that sounds like it could be really cool, but that is really different from what happens in Gone Home.
Yes.
Because in Gone Home, it's not just reading notes. It's also like different artifacts in the environment. Like you see a matchbook on the ground, like that fell into a vent. Or like what was the one part like later on in the game? You actually like go into a section of the house and you find tickets on the floor for something.
Oh yeah.
Like there's a certain amount of synthesis that you have to do to get the full picture, and the idea of this like AI recording everything and you unlocking bits of that recording is them kind of just doing all that for you.
Well, no, I mean you can. There are still things to find in the environment. It's just maybe, and there's lots of items and notes to read that kind of give you backstory on a lot of these characters. And by the end of the game, you do kind of know each of these. I think there's like 6 or 7 characters that were on this ship before you got there, and by the end of it, you know all of their names. You know their personalities pretty well. You know their relationships, and when you start to piece together what was happening, you start to realize, oh, how is this person going to respond? Because I know how this person is.
Oh no, she didn't. So hold on. As a quick aside, the way some of the things you're describing about this game really makes me think of the Turing test. Did anyone else here play that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did? Did you finish it?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was cool, but
the Turing test had like straight up puzzles.
Yeah, that was almost.
Well,
more
I was talking less about the puzzle, more about the story of the game.
Yeah.
Was that worth it? Was it good?
It was good. I think that game kind of fizzled out at the end. I don't really. It's not like Portal where I will never forget what happened at the end of Portal.
Oh yeah.
I think the end of the Turing test.
I mean, I would tell you what happens at the end, but I would spoil it for those who haven't played.
Yeah,
it,
it's still a game I would recommend. The Turing test is pretty good.
Yeah.
And I think this game is pretty good too. When it's all said and done, I think ultimately at the end of the day, Gone Home is probably going to be the more memorable of the two because of how that game ends and what it ends up being. I think they were trying to go for that same kind of impact or that same kind of punch here.
I thought that blue guy was a baby.
No. So the weird thing, all these recordings that you're watching, all the people are like these color coded like wireframes of people.
Sure. Makes it easier to remember who's who.
Yeah, you don't really. Yeah, you start to memorize. Oh, this person is this color, and
Purple.
you kind of get to them like they're like. They're like wireframes of the person, so you can kind of tell how tall they are. You get to know their voices,
how thick they are,
that kind of stuff. But you never really actually see their faces. But like,
it costs too much.
The voice. Well, I don't. That may have been an intentional thing. I mean, honestly, I think you actually see like they have pictures like that, like their files and stuff, or whatever. You kind of see them all over the place. Like you know what they actually look like in real life, but you never actually see that in motion. I have a feeling they're all just developers in the game or friends or family of the people that made this game. But the voice acting is fucking spot on. It is so good and so believable, and there's a lot of it. The thing
because that's important.
Yeah, the thing that's interesting about this is that so when you walk into a new area or a new section of the ship, you're playing back this. You would normally expect you would play back this interaction between two characters, and that's kind of this isolated thing. But it's actually when you're scrubbing through it, it's taking into account the entire chunk of that entire section of the ship, which is multiple rooms, hallways, whatever. There's people kind of all over the place doing their things, and
so
when you're
scrubbing through it, while you're also going to different parts of the environment to follow along.
Yeah, so while you're watching, there may be one section that you see is 2 minutes long, and you scrub through it, and you see an interaction between two very specific characters. But while you're scrubbing through it, in another room in that same section, there's other characters
taking a dump,
doing something else. Maybe not taking a dump, but you get the idea.
Yeah. You ever see someone walk onto a hallway and just?
Nope, that did not happen. But there are some pretty funny things, and there's some really genuine things that happen between characters that I obviously don't want to spoil here, but there's some really cool, touching moments and stuff that you may miss. You could totally miss some of them. They kind of give you hints because as you're scrubbing through this thing, you can kind of see at certain points there's a little question mark. So if you can find someone they open up these digital interfaces that kind of pop up in front of them, and if you find them, you can scan that interface and you can read their emails, read their text messages, you can hear their voicemails, things like that, which kind of further develops the characters and their relationships, which is I highly recommend doing. But yeah, that's kind of you're literally going for all the major sections of the ship, collecting the data from this AI, and that's your goal. So when you've done all of that, you kind of by the time you've finished going to all the sections, then you've effectively seen the end of the story. You can interact with a lot of stuff. Like right here, I found this dartboard. You can actually play darts, and that's like the CEO of the company. They put his face on it, so you can like throw darts at the CEO. You can actually pick up those pool cues and play pool, although it's really hard to be accurate with it. But essentially, I don't want to spoil. Something obviously happens on the ship, and then you kind of have to see how each of the characters reacts to that situation and see how they handle it.
When do you run into your first mimic?
This is not Prey, my friend. But it's cool. It's a really cool story. I don't think the ending has the maybe the punch that Gone Home had, but really cool game. Like I said, I finished it in one sitting. One thing I really like, and you kind of saw on the screen, like your character, she interacts with everything on the ship with actual sign language.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
So like when it asks her to enter in like a password, you see her actually like sign it, and it like interprets it. And you see the letters appearing on the screen, which is a really cool.
That is cool.
In fact, a lot of what I like about this game, like design wise, is like all these like creative things they can like. They created the technology that runs this ship, so you can kind of see, like they have these like elevators that take you, because it's a really long thing. So you go in the elevator and it takes you from one side to the other. But like you see them like put their hand in this like they grab like a handle, right, and then they slip one foot into this like thing, and you see it go from red to green, and it's magnetic. So it's like holding them on, and then it just shoots you through this like tube, which is really cool. That's like a lot of really cool like fake technology they created.
That's a thing from fucking Mobile Suit Gundam.
Yeah.
All the shit is because they don't have artificial gravity in Mobile Suit Gundam, so everything is in zero G on their ships when they're in space. So all the hallways have like these little handholds, and you'll just grab one and it like shoot you through.
It's kind of like that. There is artificial gravity obviously in the ship, but yeah, it's definitely similar to that concept. So really cool. A lot of really nice, like the world feels really lived in and
how do you
thought out.
Poop in zero G?
There are toilets in every room.
It's a vacuum suction.
Like there's actually like there's a flush.
You don't sit. You have to like lean. Like and it just sucks it out of your butt.
Do you have to push, or you just turn on the vacuum?
I don't know. That would be great though if you had like assisted pooping. Right?
Chris Hadfield, the astronaut,
it just yanks it out of you.
He did a video. About
you just have to apply light pressure.
Walking through exactly how you do it.
Chris Hadfield. Yeah, I love his stuff. Have you seen the one of him in the submarine?
No, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, because he's also in the Navy. And
opening
he was
the Coke?
Yeah, opening a Coke. He like shakes a Coke and then opens it because they're so deep underwater and the pressure.
I like the one where he wrings out the wet washcloth. Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I like the one where he sings Space Oddity. Space Oddity. There you go, yeah.
But you know what? I have Tacoma now if y'all want to play it.
I do.
How much is it?
Share your fucking account with me.
It's $20.
$20 is fine.
For 2.5 hours. But the story is like they tell like kind of like they have a very specific style to them that is, if you liked Gone Home, there's no reason to not play this. It is short. It is rather short considering how long I feel like I've been hearing about this game coming. I kind of thought it'd be a little bit longer, but they tell it's a really well told story. And it has some nice surprises and stuff. It's
how fast do people speedrun this game?
Oh, dude! If you know what you're doing and you've already experienced the story, like literally, if I was to play this game now,
what's Carlos's
now that I
time?
know everything that happens. I don't need to read all the emails. I don't need to hear all the conversations. I could literally beat this game probably in about 20 minutes. Because you could literally just because every time you go into a section, it makes you like load like the thing you hooked up to scan all the AI data you need to collect takes like 15 minutes for each section for it to scan. So maybe while you're waiting for it to do that, you're walking around seeing the interactions.
Maybe there's a good sequence break somewhere.
That's probably what they do to experience it, or to extend the experience. But
Gone Home, the record was 38 seconds, I think,
something like that.
Yeah, I mean, Carlos. You could definitely beat this game super.
Carlos
super
never
fast.
even got close.
Like if you don't,
that's really cool.
Yeah, no, it's like watching her do the sign language.
I mean,
really cool.
Is there a reason? Is it just that's how the computer works, or is she?
I'll be honest.
She doesn't talk.
Be honest, she doesn't speak, so I wouldn't be surprised if she's mute. I don't know.
Maybe in space that has to do with just being able to communications might be difficult.
I mean, yeah, I think it's like the AI is. I don't know. I honestly I don't.
You said the passwords were sign language.
Yeah.
Are they all unique, like hand gestures each time?
Well, I mean, you don't.
No, it's actual American Sign Language.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Are you like spelling out words and
Yeah.
Yeah, like they just said enter your name and she signed Amy
That's-
whatever. Like
It's really cool.
That must have been so hard to capture, but that's like really fucking cool.
It is really cool. Honestly, I wish they did it more because it doesn't happen a lot.
0G basketball. looks-
Yeah, dude, the first time I played this, like this was obviously after I beat the game and I sat down to record the footage. First time I played this, I picked up the basketball
Lot of
once, threw
fouls.
it, went straight through the hoop, got the achievement. Like, yeah, moved on. Now I can't get it through the fucking hoop.
Oh,
So I
you
sit here for like
suck.
I was like, I'm ruining this footage over and over again.
What did it even bounce off of?
Oh god, I can't get it in the hole.
Just your own shame.
That's a problem you have.
Yeah, I know.
Dunk.
Yeah, like
Dunk.
this. Damn.
Oh, you suck.
I know it was terrible.
Reject.
I mean, they had to build off of like the Easter egg from Gone Home, so because people probably complained about that.
Okay, so
What is?
this is interesting. So, Prince of the Universe says it takes 3 hours for each section to download if you do nothing. So you could finish this game doing nothing, but it would take you 9 hours, which makes sense because when you plug it in, you see like a bar. It starts to like count up and fill up. And
Wait, I thought you played this in one sitting.
I did.
You played this for
No,
9 hours?
Listen. So when you go to each section, like engineering and biomedical and whatever, you have to plug in this thing, and it's supposed to be downloading data. And it says it's going to take a while, so why don't you go find, do
Stuff to
something.
do.
So you walk around, and you hear and this when you see the interactions, you read emails and shit. And I have a feeling the more you read and do in the background,
The faster it
that
downloads.
thing fills up. Because you could do an entire section if you listen to all the conversations, read all the stuff. You could probably do a section in like 30 minutes, 45 minutes. And then when you come out the other side, or when you come back after you've seen everything, it's like, it's done. But if you just stand there and watch it, it probably takes 3 hours for it to download.
That's
so,
got to be an achievement, though.
probably
Like I want to see that.
would not surprise me. I'm not doing it. I mean, you could just leave it there and go have lunch. I don't know.
Call it a slow run.
Yeah, see, there's
speed
a thing I was
Yeah.
talking about, like, and then it just takes you down the elevator shaft. It's really cool.
Down. It's not down.
Sideways, I don't know.
It's space, Nick.
It takes you.
somewhere.
It takes you in a direction.
This Wonkavator. if you will.
away.
Away, yeah. So yeah, that's Tacoma. I hope I didn't. I
This
hope I
is
was.
cool.
I hope I managed to talk about it without spoiling.
You
too
ruined
much,
it
so.
for me, but I'd still like to play it.
No, I didn't mention.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't even.
You don't
mention,
even realize how much you gave away.
Didn't even mention
You
the thing
ruined
that
the
like,
elevators.
This is all.
bullshit.
I can read your fucking body language.
I didn't even tell you what
I deduced it from your body language.
yet. What happens? Huh?
I don't know. I'm not gonna say because people are listening. I don't want to ruin
Wonderful.
it for them.
All right, we're gonna take a break because we're coming up with halfway through the show. Actually, we're a little bit past it, and we'll be right back. Do we have any other games impression-wise to talk about? I don't think so.
I mean, like I said, I could talk a little bit about Lawbreakers if you want.
I do
Nah.
want to. Okay.
We could discuss poultry.
You doing a what?
I wanted to ask you about Horizon. Do you have anything to say about Horizon now that you've played more of it, or
I
should
mean,
wait?
I can briefly say that I've been playing more of it. I did my first. What are they called?
Which one?
The things.
Cauldrons?
Cauldron.
Oh.
I did my first cauldron.
The cauldrons.
I don't know. I mean, the game's huge.
Yes.
There's too
Yes.
much to fucking do.
Yeah.
That's all I can really say.
Okay. Well, maybe you're gonna keep playing it. I assume?
Yeah, I'm gonna finish it.
Cool. Well, I can't wait to hear more about that from you. I love that game. That game is fantastic.
I've been listening to the soundtrack.
Dude, the soundtrack is so good.
pretty
Wait,
good.
do you own the soundtrack?
I own it on Spotify.
Fuck. So you don't. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll do news, and we'll answer some questions from our supporters on Patreon. And, yep. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
There's a very old, famous street in Austin called Manshak. Guess how that's spelled?
MANSHAK.
No, it's spelled
MAN.
MANCHAKA.
No, there is no,
No,
K. It's ACA.
CA.
CA.
Yeah.
Manchaca.
Manchak.
But it's pronounced Manchac.
But you just say Manshak.
Well, people call it
because
Manshak.
everybody else here says Manshak, and nobody knows why. Because the people before them said Manshak. Because the people before them said Manshak. Because the people before them said Manshak. Because the people before them didn't know how to fucking read. Mm-hmm. And we still just keep calling it Manshak. It's like when you move to Austin from out of Austin, that's one of the first things you have to learn. You have to learn that it's fucking Manchac, because you can't say Manchaca, because then you're part of the fucking problem.
Well,
you're one of the new people.
Then there's also the many highways that have multiple names here in
Like
Austin.
Mopac.
Mopac is also
Mopac.
called Loop 1, which is also called 360. Like,
No, 360 is
No,
capital
360 is
Texas.
different. That's capital of Texas.
Se-
They
71?
intersect, but they're not.
I guess you're right, yeah.
71 is like 3 roads running parallel.
71 is also
290,
290
and
Ben White
And Ben
Boulevard.
White.
yeah.
All the same thing.
By the way, this is the show. I hit record.
You're
so.
the show.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
It's fucking terrible. How come people in Texas don't know how to pronounce words?
I don't know. Maybe you should run for office. Is that,
Maybe I should.
Mr. Floridian.
Maybe I should.
Did you ever
Hey,
notice that the capital kind of looks like the Kestrel?
Oh my god! Oh my god! Whoa! When viewed from the top. Whoa, that's fucking just more penisy, but yeah.
A little more penisy.
That is weird. What
the
is that?
Kestrel?
Is that a fountain?
Yeah, from FTL. The state capital, like the grounds.
when an aerial view,
Oh.
it looks like
kind of.
looks like a kestrel or maybe some kind of weird butt plug.
I mean, that's not what. Never mind.
What?
Austin?
Oh, look, Stinky Jim showed up in
Is that
chat.
house?
Stinky Jim. What?
Stinky Jim.
Oh, is that a smelly jelly
Come
joke?
and take
Yeah.
it.
All right, we have some news to talk about, fellas.
Mm-hmm.
Put down the butt plug photos.
I'm not looking at your photos, Nick.
Yeah. Put your phone away.
My
Jesus
apologies.
Christ.
You're right.
He's got slick deals for butt plugs.
Slick deal
I've got
alerts.
an alert. I've got an alert. All right, let's.
Or he's
let's
got an alert.
You got an alert for what?
for world's
butt
largest
plugs?
butt plug.
just waiting
He's
for it to go on sale.
Oddly appropriate that
It's called the
slick
Duke.
Deals.
The Duke.
Really?
That's horrifying.
Really makes you rethink the term slick deals.
Oh, that's pretty good though.
Excalibur with 3 X's.
Guys, y'all's calling was naming sex toys. Y'all know
It's
this?
so easy.
Y'all make it look easy.
Everybody does it.
Episode 514, the sex toy show.
There's probably a better one in there.
Nah,
Than,
we can do better.
It's a little too on the nose. We're waiting for that. Waiting for the right moment to name the show.
514, Cold
I'll
Like is
know
still
it.
a bad name.
I'll know it when I hear it, like I do most weeks. Anyways, news topics. There's actually a few big pieces of news this week. Some longer than others, but
Teacher's
sorry,
little
I
helper.
know what you're thinking there,
That's a
Nolan.
good one. Damn.
All right, hit us with the first news topic.
kinda
Chris
hard.
Davis. It's
Horrible at
Click.
this.
oh, there it is. You picked the short one first.
Oh.
Hob.
Ha.
Y'all remember Hob? We played that at PAX like 2 or 3 years in a row, I think. First time we played it, we gave it one of our PAX awards when it came out.
Yeah.
It's like a... How would you describe that game?
Isometric fun game?
Isometric puzzle platformer
it's a fun game.
mixed with fun. Yeah.
In which the entire world you kind of move around as a
Yeah,
puzzle.
like the
Yeah.
whole world kind of shifts, and it's like it's almost like the inner workings of a clock. Like
It has,
you're
it has a lot of elements of fun in it.
yeah, there we go.
It's fun.
It finally has a release date. It's coming out PS4 and PC on September 26th.
Damn.
It's actually on sale right now on
coming
PlayStation
up.
Plus. If you're a PlayStation Plus member, you can pre-order it for $15.99, I believe, which is like $4 off.
I didn't know it was $20. That's nice.
Yeah, it's $20 normally. Pre-order if you're PS
It's like
Plus.
40 copies of Bad Rats.
What is Bad Rats, and why does it keep coming up in conversations?
Now he gets a
Carlos
copy.
never gifted you
didn't-
Bad Rats?
No.
I didn't want to ask, but now that Nick has bravely stepped up.
Have
What
you
the
never-
fuck is Bad Rats?
Have you never played Bad Rats?
No,
Wow.
I thought
did
y'all
it
were
begin?
making
The
this shit
game
up.
is 50 cents.
It's not worth 50 cents.
Oh man,
It is.
It's a dumb puzzle game.
It's a physics based
yeah.
puzzle game.
It's like
in which
Mousetrap.
entirely focused on physics, and they're really bad physics.
Yeah.
wonderful.
So to complete a puzzle, it's pure luck.
You realize before you leave the show, you will probably have copies of Bad Rats on your Steam accounts. Like someone is going to give you Bad
Orca
Rats.
is probably going to give you
Please.
one. Gamerback maybe.
Somebody gift me Bad Rats. Bring it on. I can't
I'm
promise.
fairly
I'll
certain
play
I've
it.
been gifted Bad Rats like 5 times. I'm pretty sure in my Steam inventory, I just have copies of Bad Rats.
Nobody told me.
Well, we don't mean to draw comparisons between Hob and Bad Rats. I don't even know how that comparison actually started.
Hob is worth 40 Bad Rats.
He's measuring everything in Bad Rats.
You go buy like a pizza. How many Bad Rats is that? At least 7 Bad Rats, please.
What if that's like
that.
what if
like 14 Bad Rats?
What if that's our economy in the next like 10 years? Oh God. It's Reborn says it's literally like mailing someone a piece of shit.
It's kind of accurate.
Oh, that's funny. All right. Yeah, so Hob's coming September 26th on PS4 and PC. I'm really looking forward to that game. That's the only reason I really put it on the dock for the news, because that game, I think, is a game that people should be aware of. I think it could easily get lost this season because there's a lot of shit coming out this season. So keep an eye on it. Check it out. I know if you pre-order it too, because I did pre-order it, they give you a sweet theme on PS4, which is pretty dope. All right, hit us with the next news topic.
Okay.
Christopher Davis. Here we go. Dragon Quest XI.
Coming to the West?
It's coming to the West. That's not the real
Shocker.
big news.
Hold
That's
on.
not the real big news.
Update news. Bad Rats is actually $1. I was thinking when it's Steam sales, it's 50 cents during Steam sales.
Oh my god.
So sorry, it's $1.
I'm gonna have like 18 copies of that game when I get home.
$18.
Somebody out there spent money on this game. All right. Dragon Quest XI recently released in Japan, and it sold 2 million copies in 2 days.
Wow.
I can't even... When was the last game that did that in America?
2 million copies
In 2 days.
In 2 days?
Pokemon Go.
That doesn't count.
Why? Because it was free?
Yes, actually, absolutely, because it was
I don't
free.
understand.
I
how that's
mean,
not the
probably
same
a
thing.
Call of Duty game.
Probably. Yeah.
Uh,
That's impressive though, because
probably a Mario game.
especially because Dragon Quest XI is a console title. It's PS4. This is that weird Dragon Quest game. It's actually getting there's a PS4 version and a 3DS version, and the 3DS version is the exact same game, but like built and designed with like isometric, like not even isometric. I think it's more like I think it's even like what's the word I'm looking for? Like a retro style RPG, more along the lines of like Chrono Trigger or something. Like it's the same game, which looks fucking beautiful on PS4, but it's being on 3DS. It's a totally different art style.
Yeah.
Looks great, but yeah, sold 2 million copies in Japan. Console games don't sell for shit in Japan. This is actually moving hardware in Japan, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they've confirmed it's coming to the West. I think sometime in 2018, which big shocker there. I think Dragon Quest is fairly popular here in the States.
Monster Hunter probably
pretty
did better
popular
than that.
game.
Yeah,
over there.
and I haven't really played a mainline Dragon Quest game since 8.
I think that's the last one anyone played because that's the last one that came with the demo of Final Fantasy in it.
Yeah, I think you're right,
Dude, what kind of deal did they have to do to like do that?
dude. It's like
they made so much money.
Dude, it's like when Crackdown came with the Halo 3.
yeah,
Was it Halo 3?
I think, yeah,
The Halo 3 demo. God damn it! I worked at GameStop when that game came out too. I cannot tell you how many copies of Crackdown got traded in within a week of that game coming out. Holy shit! You could even to this day probably you can walk into any GameStop and there's like 1,000 copies of Crackdown because of the fact that it came with the Halo 3 demo.
Well, it doesn't help. They also started packaging it into systems.
Also, Zone of the Enders came with a demo for Metal Gear Solid
Metal Gear
2.
Solid 2.
But
Same,
people weren't.
but yeah,
same situation there.
People were only trading in after Metal Gear Solid 2 came out.
You know, I was trying to think of a game I could take to Houston with me tomorrow, and I was like, I don't have anything currently. I forgot I have Dragon Quest 8 on my 3DS, and I've been wanting to play that. Maybe I'll play more Dragon Quest. Dragon Quest is cool. Yeah. It's dope.
It's just you
Looks
gotta
like Dragon
give up
Ball.
that time. I mean, it's a. I can't bring myself to not complete an RPG once I start one.
Oh, it's,
I mean,
it's really quite simple.
that's
if you
like
just
a 40, 50
It's
hour
really
commitment
quite
minimum.
easy if you just let it happen naturally.
But I definitely don't want to play it on a
walk away
handheld.
I mean, when you
Never
take
think
4
about
hour
it again.
poops, it just
It
flies
helps if
by.
you trade the game in and you physically can't play it.
Did you say 4-hour poops?
Yeah, isn't that your average?
Dude, no.
Super regular.
You need to get a space vacuum.
How do you stand
No,
back
dude, it
up?
doesn't even matter. If I sit down and take a poop and I put anything in my hands whether it's a magazine
Your
or a
penis.
game, as soon as I started like, I'm gonna make this time productive, it's over. It's just over.
You've already pooped.
It's like literally, it somehow it like actually
Wait,
makes
so
my
you're saying the poop is just like falling out of you?
It's all those butt plugs. That's the Duke.
yeah, but it only happens when I try and be productive on the toilet. If I don't try and be productive, I could be there for God only knows how long, 4 hours. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel like this was. You're right, Reborn. I never managed to have productive poops because of that exact problem.
I'm so anemic.
You don't read any Walt Whitman novels?
No, definitely not. We have one more news topic. This is actually the big one. I don't know. So we kind of briefly talked about it before the show.
This is the Duke of the show.
Bioware Montreal has
Waiting for it.
Go ahead,
Officially-
Davis. It's okay.
I don't see the news. I don't think.
Oh,
Did
no.
you make one?
Yes.
I didn't see it. I'm
You
sorry.
miss on average one overlay a week that I made.
the one.
That I did make.
and it's always the
And,
one that matters.
That's always the one that matters. It doesn't matter. Well,
No, it doesn't matter. Where is it?
EA
You find it right now.
EA is merging Bioware Montreal.
Wait, you gotta wait for the overlay.
I'm not waiting for the
Wait for
goddamn
the overlay.
overlay. Well,
But people are reading 2 million in 2 days in Japan, and you're talking about EA, and
Just
nobody knows what's going on,
is-
and it's mass
wait, is
chaos.
that it?
yes, that's it right there.
No, I'm sorry.
See, you didn't label it as news,
Oh,
and it's kind of hard to see from this angle.
You've got to be kidding
It's all
me.
your fault.
I'm so sorry.
Okay, do it
I
again.
forgot to put the word news in the title.
Okay,
Don't
forget
wor-
that he already said what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, bear with us for one moment. This is a live show.
This is 100.
Just drag and drop.
Just drag and drop. Okay.
This is a live show. And
Oh, it's still not in.
That's what she screamed.
scream.
Jesus.
What? She screamed it? Why did she scream
She
it?
was really angry with you.
Oh, there it is. Look at that.
There you go. Yay.
This is a live show, ladies and gentlemen. This is what happens when you do it live. Anyways, BioWare Montreal, the studio behind Mass Effect Andromeda, which is,
Yeah, you remember.
that's a game that
It
had
certainly was.
that had some issues. Has officially been merged with EA Motive. You may know EA Motive as actually this is what I wasn't even aware of this until before the show. I didn't realize this is the studio that's working on the campaign for Star Wars Battlefront 2.
I didn't know that either.
To me, it was I noticed this is a studio that Jade Raymond is the head of. Remember Jade Raymond?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, that studio is being folded into EA Motive. So my big question right now is what does that mean for Mass Effect? There's been a lot of BioWare news coming. Like last week, there was the news that Casey Hudson came back and took over for I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the head of that studio left. Who was working on Anthem left.
Yep.
Casey Hudson came back, stepped back in, and took over in his place. So Casey Hudson's back. Casey Hudson was like a huge part of working on the original Mass Effect trilogy.
Also, in related news, the lead designer of Anthem died.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
From what?
Casper.
I don't think
Greer?
none of the articles I read said
He died from Casper Greer?
that's his name. Yeah, I don't know, but there's been a lot of BioWare news, some good, some bad. But yeah, Casey Hudson's back, heading up Anthem, and this studio, which was supposedly going to be, kind of the new studio behind Mass Effect, has been folded into EA Motive. I don't know what they're going to be.
Directly because of performance of Mass Effect.
Dude, I
Andromeda?
wouldn't be surprised.
More
at
than
all.
likely.
I think BioWare has realized they maybe
So,
made a mistake
quick-
giving that
quick
studio
question.
Mass Effect.
No, that's
Chris
not
Davis
it.
played Mass Effect.
Yeah, I
You
beat
the
it.
only one?
Yeah. No, I know.
I mean, I played several hours, but I didn't get.
You finished Andromeda, Nick?
No, I didn't. Robin beat the shit out of it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, all of us here who are decent Mass Effect fans, like, I mean, I just didn't have any drive to play it. Like,
Yeah.
it was just...
Well, a lot of that drive, like for me, the drive was kind of sucked out of it just because of all the negativity that was floating around about it.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't help
But
that
the game itself wasn't doing. I don't know.
the game was
It wasn't-
really only in production for about 18 months.
Yeah.
Because of some really shitty development Not sorry, that came out wrong because some unforeseen development issues that cropped up late. Like that game was in development for longer, and then for the most part was like scrapped, right? And that's like 18 months before its release, and then kind of started.
No, I don't think it was like
Are we talking about Final
scrapped.
Fantasy 15?
No, Mass Effect Andromeda.
Yeah,
oh, I see.
kinda feels like that, yeah.
No, it's for all intents and
But
purposes.
I mean,
Final Fantasy-
the ending of Andromeda has a decent setup for a sequel and a full trilogy if they want.
does it also? Could it also serve as a standalone ending? Like, could the ending? Is it going to feel weird if that is the only entry in that series and we never see it again?
Kinda, yeah, because they set up a bunch of things.
See,
Because the thing about it is that it's set in the Helios cluster of the Andromeda galaxy. It's always set in a cluster. You're not going to the rest of the galaxy. So you're just in one small part of it. And the idea, I think, for the sequels...
well, don't
was
spoil
to go
anything.
explore the rest of the
I do
Andromeda.
still intend to play Mass Effect
So
Andromeda.
we
at some
know
point.
the galaxy doesn't blow up.
So well,
Spoilers.
here's one thing that thinking about it now, because they had some issue. Bioware Montreal had some issues working on Mass Effect Andromeda. We know EA Motive is working on the campaign for Battlefront 2, which is also a science fiction, a game set in a science fiction universe.
In a very different.
So
science
what if
fiction
they're
universe,
setting
for
up?
sure.
What if they're setting up combining these two teams to work on whatever's
Well,
like instead of just
that's the thing. Jade Raymond is rumored to be working on a new sci-fi IP.
But okay, so that's different. I was going to suggest maybe they're setting these two studios up to combine and work on this to follow Mass Effect Andromeda.
No.
But
EA's essentially said that series is on hold indefinitely.
EA is only
In
going
about the same way that you say Dead Space is on hold indefinitely.
Yeah,
that's so fucking weird.
they're going to chase
It's
what
fucking
they think
sad.
works.
Like, how do you take a game as big as fucking Mass Effect and put it on hold?
Because you release one big
because-
Mass Effect game that they spend a lot of money on that doesn't make back nearly that much.
Sure, but like you do know if you first of all if you made a sequel and you fixed those problems and it had the positive reception that Mass Effect 1 and 2 did, like people would come back in droves. I don't think people would hesitate.
Also, not to mention the fact that they really over-advertised and under-delivered on the product.
Yeah, that was, I think, a big
I mean,
part
like
of it.
the first like cinematic trailer they showed off for the fucking game was like going and exploring like dozens of worlds, and there's 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 5. When supposedly they were planning on that number, dozens of worlds that you could go out and explore.
Yep, it was kind of a mess. But anyways, I mean, they're combining them for whatever ends. We may not know what for a while, but oh no, are you serious?
Who is that?
Dan Licht passed away.
I don't know the name.
Dan Licht is the composer for Dexter, and he also did the soundtrack for Silent Hill: Homecoming.
That sucks.
Not Homecoming, Downpour. Fuck, I love. God damn it, Brad. Popped into chat just to deliver bad news. Oh, he also did Dishonored 2. I forgot about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good
is-
soundtrack.
That's really sad.
Oh, he
Fuck.
did Dishonored as well?
Yeah. And by the way, Dishonored 2 is a really great soundtrack. Underrated soundtrack. I've been listening to it a lot lately. Man,
You should finish
rest
that
in
game.
peace, Dan Licht. That sucks. Yeah, breaking news. Dan Licht has passed away. That's a fucking bummer. Where were we? I don't know. So yeah, we probably won't know what's going to come of this Bioware.
Whatever
merge
it is,
with
I'm
EA.
just glad that whatever Raymond is working on, it's not a fucking Star Wars game.
Dude, I thought for a while that Jay Raymond was rumored to be working on a new Splinter Cell game, but I guess that's.
Well, I mean, this is EA, not Ubisoft.
Oh wait, who am I thinking of? Oh, wait a second.
I mean, Jade Raymond did help with.
I was thinking
I
of
think Conviction. If
I don't know.
I could be wrong. Point is, we'll wait. We'll see what happens. We'll see what comes of this. I think right now everyone's just kind of waiting to see how Star Wars Battlefront 2 turns out. What is so weird about that game is that they were building up that campaign like this has a campaign this time. We still haven't fucking seen that campaign. What is up with that? That does not give me
For
much.
Battlefront 2?
Yeah, that is not.
I mean,
still
supposedly they've
confident.
shown it
I mean,
behind
they-
closed doors,
yeah.
but
They had a lot
like,
of
they
cinematic
did that
trailers
big
they've
event.
shown.
They did that big event where it was nothing but a 30-minute long multiplayer session.
But that's the thing. That's what sells it. It's DICE multiplayer.
But that is not what
sells really fucking well.
That is not what people want to see right now.
What you're talking about is a problem. It's not necessarily a problem with Battlefront 2. It's a problem with how EA markets games.
Exactly.
Because they don't want... Like, for whatever reason, they don't just, like, show content anymore. They show really long, heady trailers of developers making content. And they focus intensely on multiplayer and competitive multiplayer aspects.
Because that's where the longevity and the money is.
But, like, literally, they spent all that time showing off that multiplayer match. If you were to put that multiplayer match side by side with a multiplayer match from Battlefield 1, I probably couldn't tell them apart.
But you don't want to show 10% of a campaign.
10%?
I wouldn't be...
You expect a non-DICE developed campaign.
Dude, I expected... if they wanted to show a 30-minute multiplayer session, fine. I expected them to at least dedicate 5 minutes to show a trailer of gameplay of the campaign that is apparently the big deal about this Battlefront 2 sequel. Like, I didn't buy Battlefield 1 or Battlefront 1 because... Have I been saying Battlefield the entire time?
I think so.
I didn't buy Battlefront 1 because it didn't have a campaign.
Same here.
And a lot of people felt that exact same way.
No,
and
that's the reason I didn't buy it.
They brought out that actress who did a really good job, I think, of like getting people kind of hyped for like what this is. She was
really wanted to see more from the campaign.
Yeah, and then nothing.
I mean, Gamescom is this month.
That's true. If they don't show it at Gamescom, I'm
officially
worried if they don't show anything at Gamescom. But we'll see what happens.
We'll see something.
I think I think this new style. However the Battlefront 2 campaign turns out will kind of dictate how I feel about this move.
I have thoughts about the direction that's going, but we'll get into that in the 4-player minute.
Fantastic.
Mine's going to be a little longer.
All right, well then let's go ahead and move this along. We have some questions from our supporters on Patreon that we would love to answer. God, that's really sad about Dan Lake. Fuck. Why is everybody... Guys, why is everybody dying? Why is there so much...
community, and we hope they
I don't like it.
We love our community.
That's life, man. We all die.
I know.
We all die, Nick. We're all going to die. One day.
Thank you, Crispy, for touching my face. He's still singing.
Alrighty. I missed a bunch of new patrons. I don't remember the last one we actually officially read.
Well, the week you were gone, I think I read one or two.
Who did you read? Do you remember?
No clue.
Did you read Swarley?
Dude, yeah.
That name sounds familiar.
10-minute break.
I mean, I know who Swarley is, so yeah, I'm pretty sure I thanked him.
April W.
Who?
April W.
Yes, I remember saying thank you to April.
Krista Keith.
Did not say that one.
Daniel C. Well, those are some new patrons. I don't know who didn't get
Daniel
read.
C is the one from today, I believe.
Correct. Daniel C.
Thank you again.
Became a patron today.
Thank you guys for supporting us on Patreon. By the way, we recorded a popcorn cast for Spider-Man Homecoming finally. Me, Crispy, and Nolan. And if you have seen that movie and you would like to hear our thoughts on it, I would download that. It's available right now. It's available on our Patreon page, but I'm going to get that up on the regular RSS feed for the podcast maybe tonight when I upload this episode. So look for it. Yeah.
Cool. Now it's time for some questions from our patrons. Yay. First question this week comes from Zerby.
Zerby.
I've come to notice in the last few years that I've been trying more games that aren't the usual genre I would play. While I would play strategic games like Final Fantasy Tactics, Real Time, and turn-based games were pretty much ignored? No, just ignore, save for a few, like Age of Empires 2 and such. Have you had similar situations of either genre or franchises that you once didn't care for but do now? Do you know why you care or don't, or do you just accept it? So essentially, was there ever something a game genre or franchise you didn't like, but then all of a sudden started liking it?
Oh man, I feel like this is just that's kind of a hard question to answer because like I feel like, especially since we started doing this show, I just tend to.
I can answer it pretty.
I don't tend to think of it as much about what I play and don't play. I just think if it looks interesting, I'll play it. I mean, the only style game I definitively don't play is like sports games, really.
MOBAs,
I guess. Yeah.
Before I was doing 4-player podcasts, I didn't play strategy games, and I didn't really play like. I mean, I've never really played much in the way of like JRPGs or action platformers or anything like that. So a lot of those. Like, especially strategy games I really disliked, and then I played a few good ones, played Final Fantasy Tactics. Now I do like them. franchises that I've come around on. Metal Gear, probably. I didn't really play much Metal Gear before the show.
Oh, that's a good one. If I had to, I think a lot of this is going to just come from my exposure to stuff while doing this podcast. But if I wasn't doing this podcast, or if you think back to what I looked back at what I played before doing this podcast, I may not have ever tried a game like Tacoma or Gone Home. And seeing the kinds of discussions, whatever, that arise from those kinds of games definitely made me more interested in playing them. So I do.
I used to like a handful of RTSs. I don't play them so much anymore, but I was never interested in 4X games, and then I played Civ 5, and I've got over 500 hours in that now.
500
which is about a dozen games.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I think it's weird. I guess that's my problem, is that I will play anything. I don't ever be like, I don't like that type of game.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, if you look at even the games I grew up playing, there's just a wide, there's no genre I stick to or don't stick to. It's a pretty wide variety. Similar to you,
variety is the spice of life, guys.
There are still those genres I don't play. I don't play sports games. I don't really play MMOs. That's mainly just because I know I'd probably get addicted, so I just stay away from them. Or racing games aren't really my thing.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't think there's a genre that I've been turned around on.
You know what's funny about racing games? I wouldn't consider myself really a big fan of racing games, and this isn't even a great racing game, but I played that. There was that one demo of a racing game that was for the VR headset for the PlayStation VR, and I played that in VR, and I was like, holy shit! If they could make a really good racing game that uses this technology, holy shit, I might actually get into that.
Isn't Drive Club doing that?
Probably.
All right, moving on.
That may have been the game I was thinking of.
Lots of questions this week. Moving on. Cobra asks, who is everyone's favorite game developer? It can be an individual or a studio.
Favorite game developer?
Well, we know Brad's answer.
Is this a Mercury Steam joke, or do you actually know Brad's answer?
Brad's is David Scott Jaffe.
Or fucking...
Kami. It's Kami.
Oh, yeah, Hideki Kami. Duh, thank you. Yeah, you're right. We do know the answer to that question.
How come it's not Iga?
Man.
Let's just all speak for Brad.
Yeah, let's all speak for Brad. Let everybody choose Brad's favorite developer.
Who develops
my
Spyro?
favorite developer? Oh, God, that's actually kind of tough.
I mean, by default, I'm going to lean on Kojima.
Mm-hmm. I think...
Can't go wrong with him.
I don't know. We haven't seen Death Stranding yet.
No one here's played Police Nuts.
That's true. I have not played
game
Police
was-
Kojima
Nuts.
was great just because of what a character he is outside of his creations.
Yeah.
Same thing with Kami. Yeah.
I think the first one that kind of jumps out to me is Shinji Mikami, but I don't. If I think about it long enough, I can probably think of someone or some studio that I appreciate more than that.
I bet Brad would also mention Yasumi Matsuno.
Yeah, probably. Rockstar is a studio that I don't ever not like their games.
I mean, if I could choose a studio versus a person,
it could be a studio.
Software. You never go wrong with id.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Id Software is great.
Old Bungie, pre-Destiny Bungie.
You can't do that.
I'm tempted to say, if you want to go down the Rockstar path, I'm tempted to say Rockstar San Diego, which did Red Dead Redemption, but then again, I've only ever played one game from Rockstar San Diego.
Yeah, you only played one.
And by the time I've played two, it'll also be a Red Dead Redemption game.
Yeah. All right, come on, guys. Lots of questions. We got to...
Go. I might, if I think of something else, I'll chime in. But
all right, next question and they call him Waddle Dee. Due to an incident involving my brother's liberal applying of thermal paste, I've been without a PC for the last month. Just got a new motherboard and CPU. Currently trying to sort out some teething issues. What? I don't know that phrase.
Does PC have teething?
Yeah. With this in mind, have any of you ever had a long period of having to go without game console PC? If so, how bad was it? Well, that was fucking me. A month ago, I didn't play games for almost 2 months, or however long it was.
It wasn't just because you didn't have access to them, but you just didn't have time.
I was in that. Well, a lot of them I didn't have access because I was in the process of moving, so half my stuff was packed and this and that, and it's just it was one of those things where I was just oh my god, I just want to fucking play some games. Yeah. It definitely. It's never fun.
I'll be honest. It's been a while since I've had to go an extended amount of time without playing games. I mean, I was maybe college. I was like, no, I played a shit ton more games when I
Oh
was
my
in
god!
college.
I wish I was
Yeah.
in college
Yeah.
still. That's all I did was play games.
In fact, I don't even know how I afforded to play games the way I did
Yeah,
in college.
I'm lucky to say I've never really had that problem.
Yeah, I
so-
haven't gone through that since I moved out here. But when I
mean-
moved here, I was like kind of in a transient state for weeks on end, so I didn't have anything I owned yet.
Damn.
And it was like staying in a hotel. So
That's nice.
yeah.
All right, moving on.
Maybe the first 12 years of my life.
Prince of the Universe. If you could voice act an existing game character, who would it be? You can also suggest characters for each other.
Oh God,
Bowser.
Bowser.
I was doing a lot of voice acting with Bowser's Inside Story and playing.
You were
Bowser.
having a blast.
Playing Bowser was the most fun.
If I could voice any character, oh God, Dante?
Mickey Mouse.
Holy,
I don't know.
so
Well, you've got the Mickey Mouse down.
Coal.
There you
Wait,
go.
what is it? Coal black.
Coal Black.
Coal black.
That'd be Coal Black.
Can I voice Coal Black?
The narrator.
Oh
from
boy, I'm Coal Black.
Oh man, I don't know. I mean, I've never thought
it's-
about it. I don't think much about.
I mean, it's kind of one of those things that you like a character so much that you kind of imitate them in your privacy, but you're like,
You'd want to.
Oh, then if that Chun-Li.
You'd want to be that dude from the radio commercial
Explain
in
it to
Vice
twerking.
City.
Oh,
Rusty
Rusty Brown's ring donuts.
Yeah.
All right, moving on. We gotta go
I'm
quick.
not gonna do the other part.
Exodus.
I'm not gonna
What are
do the
your
other part.
favorite garbage TV shows? I can't quit Ghost Adventures.
Garbage?
Dude,
TV
Ghost
shows?
Adventures is so addicting once you let yourself start.
So I will say, back in 2000, I think maybe 9 or 10, I got hooked on this real TV show. It was a real show.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
Called Real World?
No, it was on True TV, so it's real, and it was about like Repo Man or something like that.
Oh
and
my
I watched
God.
it for like 2 years,
That shit was
thinking it
so
was real.
popular.
I thought it was real. None of it was real.
Like
it was
Lizard
all
Lake Telling. all
yeah.
that
It
shit.
was. I was
My-
just like, what?
Dude, my dad was really into those shows and
Yeah.
like would like call me to tell me about stuff he saw. Like, was real into him, and I was like, "Oh, this is so stupid."
I've seen more of The Bachelor and Bachelorette than I care to
Oh,
admit in
Jesus.
the past year.
God.
my bad one, my real bad one, because like
I'm not saying I love it though.
my roommates
Operation
would watch
Repo, I
stuff.
think, yeah.
My roommates would watch stuff like The Bachelor, and I would sit and like kind of hate watch with them. But I didn't choose to watch that,
Dude,
You know, the one that I chose to watch that was really bad was I was really into Real World Road Rules Challenge, the challenge for a long time, because that is just like. It's a reality TV show where they put a bunch of very terrible, shitty, terrible people whose jobs, most of the people who are on that show nowadays, like, they make a living by being on that show.
Yeah.
Like, by just coming back to the challenge every year and, like,
Okay.
trying to win. And those people all suck. They're all terrible. They're all drunks. And the dudes are all definitely using steroids. And they are definitely being encouraged by the producers to use steroids. And... And then they have to do these really stupid, really bad, like, high adventure challenges. And, like, these guys get so fucking mad. There was a great season. If you go back, there's one where when Survivor was really popular, they did an island show. Where, like, every week they'd all have to compete to find pieces of a boat. And at the end of the show, they'd have to take all their pieces and build a raft to sail to another island. To win, like, $10,000 or something. To split between, like, 6 people or something. Like,
sounds
it's
truly
ridiculous
awful.
how vicious people got over $10,000.
Does what is it is it Real Estate Brothers? Does that count? Is that what it's called?
Property
I think
Brothers?
so.
Property Brothers. Does
yeah.
that count? Is that trash
Yeah.
TV?
Yeah.
I can't like that. If that show comes on and I let myself watch more than like 2 minutes of it, the day's gone.
See, the worst part about being a recent homeowner is seeing some of those shows and being like, "Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I should do that to my house."
Yeah, and then you like get all
Those people
enthusiastic
are
about it.
always
And
like the worst.
So hold on. So I guess
Our budget is $4 million.
I know. Oh my god, that is the fucking worst. Like, I'm a third grade school teacher, and my husband plays guitar on the corner of a street, and our budget is $600,000.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Who can afford this? No, like, cause like I watch like at work they play a lot of HD TV, and there was like a while like I was anyway like there's what is that one show? Where it's like something about property or something, and like the show is always the fucking same. They go look at one house. They go look at another house.
Oh, where they're looking at
they
three
go look at
houses
the third
each?
house. this is
This
it.
is the
Like,
one.
yeah, like, I can't remember what that is, but it's
Horribly
like.
formed.
Brad has answered in chat. He says
Tiny House Hunters?
Tiny House Hunters. I could have called that one. I know.
Wait,
he
are
goes
the people tiny or the house tiny?
The house is
Both
tiny.
houses.
Okay.
House is
It
definitely
depends on the
Dano,
episode.
Dano brings up Survivor and Big Brother. I found out that Big Brother's still in the air.
What?
tiny. Really?
It's on season 19.
Jesus Christ. By
And
the way,
Survivor is on like season 28 or
you know what's
something.
infuriating about that Tiny House Hunters show? Every single episode, a couple wants to buy a tiny home. They go look at a bunch of homes, and then they always say, it's a little small. They always say it's a little fucking small.
I want it tiny,
We wanted it to be a little bit bigger. Bitch, you're on Tiny House Hunters. You should want it smaller.
How small it would be until you were in it. Like, wow,
They're like,
once you're in there, there really isn't a lot.
They're
of
like,
space.
well, we can chop off your shins.
It's so cute,
It's fucking
but I have
awful.
elbows.
All right, moving on. Sir Thomas Thipple asks, video games were my first media obsession. Once I got into college and became a film production major, they had to take a back seat for class and films. Post-graduation, I've been able to find a pretty happy medium between the two. My question is, if any of you had to give up or heavily dial back on a specific interest, hobby, pastime, etc., in order to continue working on the podcast? Wait, have you had to
Have we had to?
dial back on any hobbies?
Oh, I don't even remember what my hobby was before. No, for me,
Video games is mine.
Stop
For me-
having friends.
Yeah, I had to dial back on video games for the podcast. That's not a lot.
Your Thursday nights could have been your video game time, but now not anymore.
reading took a pretty big
That's
backseat.
true. I used to read a
and
lot.
it's been really hard to recover from. Like, I've been trying to recover from, but like, so many nights I have so many nights where I'm like, I could play a game or I could read a book right now, which I want to do more of, but I haven't played many games this week, and I probably should do that instead, and then I end up doing that instead. So that's why it takes me like a year to read one Game of Thrones book. It's really truly frustrating.
That is really frustrating.
Yeah, I know. And you know what's even more frustrating? That Nolan gets them on audio tape and then reads the entire series in the time it takes me to read one book.
Yep.
That's the worst.
It's okay. You need to read it a couple times, so he's not that far ahead of you.
Yeah, I'm not.
What you need to do is get the audio book and then listen to that while you work out.
No.
Oh, that implies
don't
that I
think
work
audio-
out enough to read
No,
it.
when I work out, audiobooks are not what I want to listen to.
Yeah,
Like,
really?
I'm not paying attention. I'm like, I don't want to like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, I have to listen to music. But
Yeah,
I mean,
music is-
I mean, that's what I do.
Dude, I recently, because I got those wireless headphones finally, so like it makes listening to music way easier when I'm working out. And I went to work out. I actually put on metal while I was working out. I was like, oh shit.
it was listen to metal while you're pumping metal.
Dude, I got shit done that day. I was like, I'm doing this from now on.
Nick's on the Smith machine.
Yeah, pretty much.
If anything,
He's screaming. I don't know why he's screaming. Somebody stop him.
if anything, I have more hobbies now than I did when I started the podcast.
That's probably true.
So
Yeah.
no.
All right, quickly moving on. 2 more questions. Let's get to them. Pioche asks, are there any locations in Texas you would recommend to visitors?
If you
Austin.
like pie, go to Round Top.
Austin and Austin only.
Yeah, don't go. Austin is like an island of sanity
Don't
and a
go
sea of bullshit.
Anywhere.
Go to New Braunfels if you want to go tubing or go to
Actually,
Schlitter,
New Braunfels,
Bon, bon.
New Braunfels
Bon,
/
bon, bon.
Green, Texas is pretty good. I've actually
Green, Texas is nice if you're around like 55 to 80.
Actually,
Yeah.
no, I think Green, Texas is nice for an afternoon.
It's fine, yeah.
I've never actually been to Fredericksburg, but I'm going for the first time next month, so I heard that's pretty nice.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, it's peach country, and that's really that's about all they had really to their name.
There's lots of kind of like nice hiking and camping places in Texas. You can go to what's it?
Big Bend?
Big Bend's pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, Austin definitely. Go to the Capitol. Check out the bats. The bats are hopping right now.
Smiley Alyssa asked, "Isn't Austin full of hipsters?"
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, define hipster.
But
We have all sorts of hipsters.
the alternative, let's just say the hipsters are fine.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I spent like 22 years amongst rednecks, so the hipsters are a nice change of pace.
like another thing is that
No offense to rednecks if you're
if
listening.
No, I just fucking hate
or,
Reddit.
or hipsters.
If the place you want to go to in Texas has a population of less than 50,000 people, the reason why you would go there is usually like a restaurant, like a barbecue place.
Probably.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Lando.
That's the only thing that's good in Texas. Is food.
Or Sweetwater. You go to Sweetwater, you're going for Opies. Or you go to Lano, you're going for Cooper's.
Getting
Or
opioids? What?
Opies.
They've
Opies
got
barbecue.
really out in
They have great opiates.
out in El Paso. They've got really great meth.
Yep.
You know? So-
Yeah,
It's
really
true.
good meth.
I do not recommend El
Quality.
Paso. I also do not recommend Lubbock. I've never been there, but I've heard horror stories.
I've been
I was
multiple
born in
times.
Lubbock.
I'm sorry for your
Oh,
loss.
really?
I kind of like Lubbock. Okay, the thing about Lubbock, there's two relatively interesting things about
If you're
Lubbock.
not going to college and you're living
the
in
smell
Lubbock,
of cow shit?
Well, the winds from the west blow in, yes, that's
That's all you
terrible.
fucking smell.
when the winds from the west blow in, that might be the
Yes.
name of the show.
That's not. I'm not exaggerating. It
Yeah,
just
no.
smells like shit.
Yeah,
all the time.
Every single person I've ever talked to about Lubbock, and one of my best friends went to school in Lubbock, all they talk about is that it smells like cow shit. But I've never heard it described as when the winds from the
You know,
west blow
Lubbock
in.
used to be a dry county until like 15 years ago.
Yeah.
It's from the
You would have to drive beyond the county line to get beer, and it was all the beer places.
It's a dry
were
county,
just
or it
on the
was.
highway, just right past the county line. It's just lined up one after the other.
It's formerly a dry county, and it smells like cow shit.
Now
If you
the two
do
things,
not go to college, if you're not going to college and you're living in Lubbock, you're doing it wrong.
the two things about Lubbock is that number one, it's so flat, every hill and dip is man-made, and
Otherwise, it's flat.
otherwise it's 100% flat. You know, like
Lots of
there's
tumbleweeds.
there are like ponds and lakes in there, and they're just all man-made, and they're like 12 feet deep, maybe.
You're
got-
still not
but-
selling this
It's got a
city.
certain
And the other
charm
thing is
to
that
it.
it's actually the entire city is laid out in a grid, so you can easily navigate to wherever you want.
You can definitely find the
Fucking
place that
easy.
smells the most like cow shit.
Yeah.
Really easy. It's really easy to find.
Oh my god,
There's nothing in Lubbock.
that is a very strange.
Well, they've actually got a
You're not selling it.
they've got an Omnimax. That's kind of cool.
What the fuck is that?
It was like it was a thing IMAX did for a while.
Uh-huh.
Instead of it being like the
So
giant
it's an old
IMAX
thing
screen,
IMAX used to do that they
it's-
just stopped doing.
No, they still do it. They just don't do it as much.
What is
Instead of it being an IMAX screen, like a flat screen, it's a giant dome, and you're watching the movie on the dome.
Oh,
I've been to those, but they didn't call them Omnimax.
Well,
But
they
it was IMAX.
well they called
does
them
that
IMAX
actually
in
make
Lubbock.
it better?
It's
Dude,
kind of interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like there. Okay, so in Tampa, Florida, there was Mosey, the Museum of Science and Industry. They have like one of the only domed IMAX screens, I think, in the state of Florida, and only like one of maybe a dozen IMAX at all screens in the state. But they would show all these like videos of like Mount Everest, and they'd have helicopter footage of them like flying over mountains, and like, dude, your balls go up inside you. It's crazy. Like, it's so great because the whole stadium is just like this real, or the whole theater is like this steep stadium, and the image wraps all the way around you. It's fucked up, man. It's fucked up. They used to do Laser Floyd there.
Oh, yeah?
like, that shit was crazy.
They used to do a
All right.
Beatles laser show. Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. Austin's cool. Next question from the Soup Nazi. You were all given the chance to have $500,000 a year
Sold.
Take
given
it.
to you.
I'll take it.
Wait.
I don't care what the other part is.
All right.
Don't even tell me.
We're done.
I want to hear. Come on.
If you agree, any form of liquid you consume will have a 2% chance of killing you instantly.
2%?
Statistically, you're dead within a year.
Yeah. So like
Yeah.
within 50 beverages,
No,
you
probably
are dead.
within a month.
Yeah, no, I absolutely would not take
You
it. but-
wouldn't
Y'all
live
already
long
both
enough to
took
get
it.
the first.
No, Crispy did. I didn't.
I didn't.
By the
take
way,
it.
A
that's
0.2% chance. Now we're talking. Now
Of course, I would decline.
But like instantly killing you, or just
Yes.
killing you in general? Okay.
yeah, as opposed to maybe killing me slowly.
what if I just didn't drink liquids?
I don't know if that works.
Is watermelon a liquid?
It has liquid in it.
I'm not drinking it though. I'm eating it.
No, I would not take it because
Does the
I-
saliva running down the back of your throat count as drinking a liquid?
No, but the semen does.
Looked into that
You silly bitch.
Hey, SMG's got a good point. You could just with that money, you could hire a taste tester to test everything you drink first.
That's true.
Yeah, but it's not poisonous to them. It won't kill them. It'll just kill you.
First of all, that doesn't make any fucking sense, Chris Davis.
That's how it works, Nick. It's a hypothetical.
Magic liquid.
All right. Anyway,
The problem's not the liquid, it's with you.
thank you to all of our patrons who asked us questions. Any patron is welcome to ask us any question they want. As you've seen from this wide variety of questions we got today.
We ran the gamut today. Stop that, Crispy.
Yep. All you got to do is go to patreon.com/4Player.
Yeah.
Become a patron and hang out with us.
$1 a month is all it takes to ask us questions. You could give us more, but $1 a month is all it takes. Anyways, thank you, Nolan, for reading
That's
this.
like one copy of Bad Rats a month.
Oh, God. Oh, shit.
Just, you know,
We should make that. We should make
just
that.
give us copies of Bad
We should
Rats.
make that so at $1 a month you can ask us questions and you get a free copy of Bad Rats. Oh God, never.
For $10 a month, you get Bad Rat Show.
Oh no,
The new version.
No. All right, let's wrap this shit up. 4-player minute. We're just gonna do our hype, our sweat, our thank you, and our fuck you of the week.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Are you gonna start off, Crispy? Or?
Am I?
Nolan, would you?
Am
like,
I?
Would you like to start?
I mean, I can.
I'm gonna let Nolan start.
Oh.
I'm actually not ready this week.
Okay, Chris Davis.
Well, my first hype this week is for City Shrouded in Shadow. They released a gameplay video that's like 15 minutes long, showing off a regular Japanese businessman surviving in the middle of an Ultraman attack.
What?
And there's a scene in which he takes a selfie with the Ultraman fighting in the background, and it's great. And it looks so good. It looks so good.
Wait, what is this from?
It's Granzella,
Shrouded and Shrouded.
City Shrouded in Shadow. Granzella,
City
the guys who
Shrouded
made
in
Disaster Report, and you know that's their series.
Okay.
There's a part in the video.
Oh, wait, so who's Ultraman fighting?
Nisei Ultraman.
Oh.
The evil Ultraman, basically.
Ultraman?
But that's just one of the many scenarios in the game. You got Evangelion Unit 1 versus the Fourth Angel.
Boo.
You've got Gundams, or no,
Patlabors fighting whatever they fight.
and you also get Godzilla versus
Mechagodzilla.
no, King Ghidorah.
Oh.
And I want to say
Is it Mechagodzilla?
and then Gamera, I think he's fighting Gauss or
Isn't it
Legion.
Gamera, isn't it? Gamora?
Gamera.
No, it's Gamera.
Ah, God damn it.
Gamora?
No,
You're thinking
not
of
at all.
the biblical city. Gamora.
Yeah.
Yeah, doesn't even
Actually,
work.
What we're saying is Gamera, friend to children everywhere.
Yes.
Oh.
And
Forgive me.
the game looks fucking great. And
Forgive me.
I swear to God, Bandai Namco, just fucking localize. Just fucking do it. I need that game in my life.
You can import it.
There's a part where he finds one of the flower vendors. That's just his store has been completely destroyed, and he's crying. And you can choose to help him. You can choose to walk away, or as he did in the demo, you can just stand there, laugh at him, make fun
Are
of
we
him.
still on your hype?
Yes.
God damn it.
My second hype is
Brad
for
is gone. We should all be able to do this in a minute.
my
I
second
already told
hype
you I
is
wasn't
for a
ready.
game I learned about today that I cannot wait to try.
Okay.
It is from another Polish developer.
Man, what is with you and Polish developers?
I don't know. This is the third Polish developer I know of.
This is America.
Yeah. The game is called X-Morph Defense. It is half tower
God damn.
defense,
Don't you start.
half
Half
shmup.
Matrix.
Don't
Half
you
shmup.
Half.
The idea is that you play as these
Port
eight.
Sesame Street. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
It's half tower defense, half shmup, in which you
What the fuck is a shmup?
shoot 'em up,
Shoot 'em up.
like a classic vertical
guys
arcade
haven't
shoot 'em up.
Exactly. That's a fucking common term.
That is
kind
a
of is.
common term.
Among shmups.
I knew it, and I don't even play them.
Yeah, come on. It's you play as these alien invaders invading Earth, and the Earth defenders come at
if
you.
you're an
along-
alien invader, you're not an alien because you're just your race. The Earthlings are aliens.
whatever. Shut up.
No, but they're invading us.
The
Yeah.
human
You said you play
armies
as them.
attack you along a traditional tower
aliens
defense
to
grid,
us.
but you can
game's
fly
made by
around
humans.
in the X-Morph fighter and blow them up directly while upgrading your tower and defending yourself. But you can also modify the terrain, like drop buildings and block paths and alter the way things go. And the destruction looks really fucking good. Like this, and this game comes out at the end of the month and it's $20.
That's like 20 copies of Bad Rats.
That's
Fucking I can't tell. I can't decide if I want to name this show the Bad Rat Show or the Winds from the West.
No, this is the 40 copies of Bad Rat Show.
All right, fair
That's
enough.
what it's called.
All right.
My sweat is that other than PUBG, I really haven't been playing that much, and I really don't have that much to play other than maybe Tacoma right now. I need other games to play, and I need to sit down and actually
reach
try
your hand
them.
out. You'll touch like 50 things you could play.
Yeah, probably. And
Like literally, just reach your hand out. You can probably just run it along his shelf and find something.
and my fuck you know what? I'll just put it out to EA, because fuck you. Look what you're doing to Bioware. You're shelving Mass Effect. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck you for what you did to Dead Space. Fuck you for the Strike series.
Hell
Fuck
yes.
you for 90% of your back catalog, which you'll never revive. Fuck you.
What are they, Capcom?
Pretty much.
All right. Is it my turn?
Yes.
My hype this week, I actually have two hypes. One is a game that comes out next week that I should be able to play a little bit before the show, because now we're back to Thursday nights. Hellblade comes out next week. That is the spiritual successor to Heavenly Sword from why am I
Ninja Theory.
Ninja Theory, thank you. I was totally blanking for a second. I've been following the development dev diaries of that game. It looks really, really good. I'm excited. I can't wait to play that. So look for that. I'm sure I'll have time to play at least a few hours before the podcast next week. My second hype, and this is something I didn't realize until earlier today. I didn't think about it. A fucking Uncharted game comes out this month.
Fuck me.
A fucking
Lost
Uncharted
Legacy,
game
what is that, the
drops at
27th?
the end of this
Potentially
month.
the final Uncharted game.
Uncharted Lost Legacy comes out this month, and I could play an Uncharted game. Yeah, I'm excited, and it's Chloe and
Nadine.
Nadine. Yeah, yeah.
When's it coming out?
I
think
like
the
August
27th,
27th, I think.
Yeah.
And
It's like the last
so
Tuesday of
fuck
the
day.
month. Yeah.
It's
it
fuck
is.
day.
Yeah.
It's Mario and Rabbids.
no,
it's
that's
XCOM 2.
That's you're thinking of October. This is August.
Okay, hold on.
No.
Hold on.
No.
August.
Mario and Rabbids.
Tuesday,
Yeah, that's all August.
Tuesday's either 22nd or 29th. The 27th is a Sunday.
Well, fuck week.
Look,
whatever.
August.
Run through the get list of games. It's terrible now.
Fuck me. Okay. Anyways, my fuck you. This is kind of a weird one. Goes to, and I think his name is Justin Lin, the director of. He most recently did Fast and Furious. One of the Fast.
I think it's Justin Lin, yeah.
Who he's also, to me, he's the guy who directed The Bourne Legacy, and he did an he did an update this week on it because they're still supposed to be doing a sequel to that movie, and he's like, it's technically still in development, but we're not really. It's kind of in limbo right now. And then he went on to name like 2 or 3 other projects that he's working on that are like complete bullshit. I'm sorry, fuck you. And he said he's like, I love working with Jeremy Renner. I fucking love working with Jeremy. Then fucking make another movie with Jeremy Renner, you son of a bitch.
Well, maybe Jeremy Renner will be in it for more than half an hour.
What?
Well, compared to Jason Bourne.
No, he wasn't. What do you mean half an hour? That was the whole movie. Bourne Legacy was all Jeremy Renner.
No, I'm talking about the Jason Bourne film in which Jason Bourne was in there for maybe half an hour.
Oh.
And maybe had like 20 lines of dialogue.
No, he didn't have a lot of. That's a whole other conversation. Bourne Legacy. I want a sequel to that fucking movie. Fuck you for prioritizing Fast and Furious.
What's the
Well,
sequel
he's
gonna be
also
called?
prioritizing Star Trek 4 and 5.
There's like 20 Jason Bourne books. You could call it any one of those things. Who the hell knows? Or it could just be something original. And I'm gonna just do another hype. I'm actually pretty hyped about a lot of stuff right now. I'm gonna go with Hob. Hob comes out soon, and I am very much looking forward to playing that game. It played very, very well at PAX last time I tried it, and it has this really nice, charming style to it. And I just hope people don't overlook it. In fact, if we also want to call it a sweat, I'm worried that people are going to overlook that game. How's that?
Yep.
And it shouldn't be overlooked.
It's true.
Comes out September 26th. Fucking mark your calendars, bitches.
Let's just hope it has a marketing budget. Because
Yeah.
it fucking needs it.
It's already got a PlayStation Plus deal right now. $4 off. Anyways, Crispy.
Okay. My hype this week is for Lawbreakers because that's coming out in a couple weeks. I played the beta over the weekend. That game's kind of cool. It's if you didn't know, Lawbreakers is the new competitive online multiplayer shooter being produced by Boss Key, which is the new company that was set up by Cliff Bleszinski.
Yep.
He's one of the 3 head developers on this or something like that. This game's a lot of fun. It bases its big twist, its hook, its thing that it's bringing to the table is speed and movement. All the characters have different like kind of like flight or double jump or like some degree of like high mobility ability. And it's really cool. Everything else has kind of just been cherry picked from every good shooter of the last 10 years. So the whole game kind of feels like a big hodgepodge of like greatest hits mechanics from other popular multiplayer shooters. But it was fun. It was really cool. I think there could be a future to it. One thing I would like to see in the future is larger maps. I feel like the traversal is so cool and so unique in this game, but the space in which they give you to do it is limited, you know. But there are some really neat things. Like they'll have some stages. Like if it's like okay, so they have a game mode called Blitzball. It's basically a one flag CTF with the flag that spawns in the center, but it's a ball. The ball is first of all voiced by Justin Roiland from Rick and Morty. What? So it sounds like Morty. Yeah. The ball like talks to you. It's like, oh, they're shooting at us, get out of here. Like it's really funny. But it'll spawn in this area in the center of this, like on one stage it spawns on this big pedestal and there's actually a giant sphere floating above it that has its own gravity. So if you jump up into that sphere, you can loop yourself around it to kind of like hold yourself. Like there's a lot of really cool
Does the
things
ball
like that.
ever try to show you its Pog collection?
No, but it's fucking lame and probably does have a pod.
Does it tell you to keep Summer safe?
Can I interrupt for just one moment?
It's not Rick. Or, I mean, it's not Morty, but it sounds like Morty.
I can't find any record of this story about Daniel Licht dying.
I've only seen it. Apparently, Austin Wintory tweeted it out. That's the only place I've seen official word from it.
That's weird.
You check Austin Wintory's
I mean,
Twitter.
it's
All right.
Nobody else has said anything.
I mean, I'm sorry to say, but he wasn't that big a name.
I mean, he's done some big stuff. I mean,
he's done big stuff, but he's...
usually, you would hear something one way or another.
may just not be out there yet.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you'll see the news stories tomorrow.
Yeah, they're dropping. My sweat is for the Star Wars Battlefront 2 campaign. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you why. Because I am currently listening to the audiobook version, and I'm doing both. I'm listening in my car and reading at home. The tie-in prequel novel, which is called Star Wars Battlefront 2 Inferno Squad. And it's all about the main characters that the campaign is going to follow. The Imperial unit known as Inferno Squad, led by Captain Iden Versio, I think is her name. My concern isn't that it's not going to be a good campaign mechanically, because we haven't seen anything. It's kind of hard to judge. My concern is the story and the characters. If they're going to be likable,
interesting.
If you're going to want to follow these characters, because I'm reading the book right now, and I'm not super far in. Like I'm a pretty decent chunk. I must be a third of the way through the book. The whole conceit around them doing this campaign was a really good idea. It's something that I thought I'd wanted to see for a really long time, where they're like, let's show the human side of the Empire. Let's tell a story from the side of, the Empire, and let's show what these people are like, and not have it be this thing, not have it be a story about people who hate the Empire from within and just end up defecting to the rebels, but show what do good Imperials look like? What are their lives like? What is that like? And it fucking sucks, because it doesn't make any sense, because Star Wars is such a monomythic universe. It's so black and white. It's so good and evil that the good guys are so good and the bad guys are so bad that you can't tell an interesting human story in the morality of the Empire, because Iden Versio is a survivor of the fucking Death Star. She knows what the Death Star is. She was there. She saw it. She saw them destroy Alderaan. She's seen all of this shit.
Is she the hero of Battlefront 2?
She's the hero of Battlefront 2. Yeah, she's seen all of that. she's seen it, and like still, because she's so fucking brainwashed, only thinks of the rebels as terrorists and thinks of the Empire as good guys, and can pull out any fucking like gaslighting fucking goddamn what do they call it? What do they call it when you fall in love with your captor?
Wait, is that
No,
No,
Stockholm Syndrome.
Stockholm Syndrome, like, excuse you could think of for that as to why the Empire is good. And it's like fucking boring and old, and like they're terrible people and they're doing terrible things and they believe in terrible things, and it's so comically bad that like this is supposed to be a character that I'm relating to or like having some sort of emotional attachment to on some level, but I can't because she doesn't make any fucking sense. And I'm just worried that that's going to bleed into the game.
I'm really hoping this is just an issue with maybe the writers having a hard time.
Yeah, who's the writer?
I haven't finished the book yet. I don't remember the author.
Is it Karen Travis?
No.
Okay.
I don't remember who the author is. It's rough at the moment, but it's like
There's got to be a way to tell that story. There's got to be.
there's got to be a way. There's got to be a way to make the characters at least somewhat sympathetic, but they're just not. I don't know. It's really weird. I mean, again, I haven't finished the book yet. Maybe it really turns around. I think it's a real step back from the first. I actually really enjoyed the first Battlefronts tie-in novel, Twilight Company, because it followed a rebel unit, but the leader of that unit was this dude who like honestly didn't give a fuck about the war. He didn't give a fuck about rebels. He didn't give a fuck about the Empire. He was from a planet that didn't know anything about any of it, and he only joined up because his planet, like his culture, is based around like fighting and war. So he's just like this guy who is useless outside of a military setting.
Looking for a war to fight.
Yeah, he's just looking to fight. You know.
Yeah.
So it kind of like you kind of have him going from this like really myopic, just pessimistic worldview to like finding something to believe in, which is kind of cool. But like this whole thing with Inferno Squad is that they're not supposed to be people who end up with the rebellion. They're not supposed to defect, and like it's not just like more. There's plenty of people in Star Wars who are good people who are part of the Empire, but if they stayed after the first Death Star, like there's no excuse. You know, there's no excuse. I don't know. It's fucking terrible.
I mean,
I hope the book gets better, but we'll see.
Well, I thought she witnessed, like, if you look at the trailer for Battlefront 2, she witnesses the explosion of the second Death Star.
She was a survivor of the first. She spends the time between the first Death Star and the second Death Star hunting partisans, who were the rebels from Star Wars Rogue One.
Yeah.
And then, she sees a second Death Star explode. That's what I'm saying. She's been through so much shit with the Empire on the Empire's side. It's unbelievable that she can rationalize it.
Yeah.
You know?
We'll see what happens.
It's so bad.
If anything, that makes me more interested in seeing what they do.
This book's getting rave reviews, though. A lot of people are really into it, and it's like a lot of the reviews I've seen have been like, I'm glad that this book doesn't have characters that quote unquote do the right thing, and it's like I don't know, like they're not framing. I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know. It's you can have good, compelling stories about protagonists that do bad things, but like they're not doing that.
Like TIE Fighter, in my mind.
Right, but
TIE Fighter is limited in the fact that you kind of feel like a cop. You're just going around and you're doing your job. You're not doing any like terrible, evil things in it. You're just...
And when the wider scope of the Empire comes into play, it's usually in this really like almost satirical way. You know, like they point out like the psychology of the Empire and its methods for ruling its citizens as being like really over the top and just out of control. And like I'm not getting that here. I'm like they're literally legitimately trying to like rationalize why genocide could maybe be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of gross.
I feel dirty.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of gross. But
let us know what you think when you finish the book.
Yeah, we'll see.
Although I don't know if it's going to change much.
But, well, I don't know. We'll see. But that's one. That was my sweat. My thank you for this week goes to everybody who stuck with me through my very turbulent broadcast on Tuesday.
For Get Even?
It was very, it was Get Even. It was more Hollow Knight than it was Get Even because I didn't have Get Even running.
Yeah.
It was thank you for hanging and sticking in with me, and also thank you for listening to my rant. I've been reading this book for like a week and a half now and haven't had an outlet for it, and I just wanted to talk about my feelings.
We're here for.
And then my fuck you for this week goes to Nick.
Me?
Yeah,
Who gave you get even, bitch?
Fuck you.
Look what you did to him.
The patrons did.
Wait, why fuck me?
I don't know.
Oh,
I just
okay.
didn't have-
No reason.
I didn't have a reason.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, fuck you too,
Because
bro.
you're an easy target.
Nolan?
Oh, is it my turn?
Yeah, it is your turn.
All right, my 4-player minute
Told you it wasn't going to be a minute.
starts now. My hype is for PUBG. I've actually been playing not a lot of it, but more of it recently, and I'm enjoying that. I wish I had more time to play it.
Almost made it through a whole show without mentioning
And we
Battlegrounds.
talked about it a little bit earlier. Definitely enjoying that. My sweat is my 3DS. It was kind of acting up earlier. I'm kind of worried. I don't like that. I closed it, put it to sleep, and when I opened it up later, like the audio wasn't working, and that just kind of freaks me out. Hopefully, there's no issues. With
Uh-oh,
that.
mic is popping.
Yeah.
Mike is popping. Who's...
I don't know. I mean, I can.
Oh, shit.
That's Nick's, I think. Yeah.
Can you mute me?
Yeah. All right, Nick's muted. Thanks for fucking up my 4-player minute. My thank you goes to SMG because he held on last night when him, and myself, Chris Davis, and Biohunter all died.
No, it was Biohunter that survived.
Oh, it was Bio that survived?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Fuck you, SMG. Thank you, Biohunter, for surviving. I'm sorry, I can't remember. I was delirious.
I'm sorry, guys. My mic fucked up.
Who held on to the end and got us the chicken dinner. We first place, winner, chicken dinner. Good times.
He
Brad,
hid in a
fun.
bush for 10 minutes. And then
Brad's
they killed
rolling
themselves.
over in his grave.
And then my fuck you goes to TV. Just like two weeks ago, it all just like fucking came down, or last week actually, because like Brent and I don't often watch too many TV shows on Sunday night, and now all of a sudden Game of Thrones is back, and we watched Ballers, the TV show with The Rock.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good show. Watched last week tonight.
If you don't like football, it would be a good. Would you still recommend it?
No, totally.
Okay.
Dude, football is like 10% of that show.
Okay, cool. Because I kind of want to watch that.
yeah.
Maybe 8%.
That's my fuck you. My fuck you of the week goes to every character on Game of Thrones.
Oh, fuck off.
That's
Fuck
fine.
that.
And then
bad.
Rick and Morty. So now every Sunday night there are 4 fucking TV shows. Like 2 weeks ago there was like what, like one, and it's just like god damn it. Now it's like all these shows. But the problem is it's not like they're bad shows. They're all good shows. Reborn knows what's up. Ballers is amazing.
I mean, I was just genuinely curious before I devote the time to watching. I just
Just
wanted
letting
to know.
you know, this is season 3 now.
Yeah.
It's a great show.
I've said it before. I don't think there's anything that I can think of that was made worse by adding The Rock to it.
The thing, Nick, you won't. They have on a lot of real world sports players, and you might not know who they all are, but it doesn't matter because they're like, oh my god, Steph Curry's on the show. All right, back to the show. Like it's like they are barely there. So I mean, I think
Is there a lot of The Rock being The Rock?
define like punching things?
Yeah, like
No.
being that like really cool like
I mean,
likable tough guy.
Yeah, well, no, that's he is a ex-football player who is now a agent for other football players. So I mean,
Yeah, I'd watch
so
that.
yes, he is still a big tough guy. Yeah.
Cool, I'd watch that.
Dude, totally check it out.
Does Terry Crews make an appearance?
Not to my knowledge.
After I finish watching The Leftovers.
I always forget the name of the guy he acts, who's his like counterpart in the show. What is his name? He was in like everything.
In what?
In Ballers. Hold on a second. I'll pull it up.
Never
in,
watched
like,
that.
one
Well, can you
second.
maybe
I mean, I'd never heard of the show until now.
wrap it up?
Oh no, that was the end of my 4-player.
Oh, okay. Well then,
like, that was it.
thank you for that, Nolan.
Yeah.
That's going to be our show tonight, guys. Thank you for listening. 4playernetwork.com is the website. I think I mentioned at the beginning of the show, but just in case, if you're new or...
Rob Corddry. I always forget his name.
who's-
Rob Gordon?
Oh, yeah.
Him and The Rock are the main characters.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a great show.
Discord. If you're new, you have not yet joined our Discord, please check it out. It's discord.gg/4player. Check us out there. If you're a supporter of us on Patreon, you may have noticed there's a new popcorn cast up for Spider-Man: Homecoming. I'll get that up on the regular RSS feed soon, so give that a listen if you've seen the movie. Because we spoil the shit out of it. What else, guys? Help me out. You can watch us stream games every single night at 4pp.tv.
Yep.
Including this Saturday when Chris and I play some Fortnite.
Oh, yeah, it's going to happen this weekend. As a reminder, I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I'm going to kind of reiterate it until people start remembering, but Brad's going to be out for a while. He'll probably be on a couple shows in August, and then post-August, when his child is born, he's probably going to be MIA for a few months. But we're going to hold the fort down.
He's got to learn to breastfeed.
You couldn't help yourself. Anyways, Brad will be back, but he's probably going to be MIA for just a little while he's learning to breastfeed us. Because I can't think of what to say. I'm just going to go.
A little sore in the chest.
I'm just going to go with Chris Davis's joke. Adapting to his fatherly lifestyle. As Brad Dad is being born and becoming a Brad Dad. You know what I mean. Anyways, thanks for listening. 4playernetwork.com is the website. Join us again next Thursday. That's right. We are back on our regular Thursday time slot. We'll be back next week. We'll probably talk about Hellblade, among other things, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So join us next week. Good night.
Bye.
Goodbye.